Welcome everyone to Wasted with Wize, episode 40. Damn, super, it's been 40 episodes, dude. 40 fucking episodes, man. Who would have thought that we would have lasted 40 fucking episodes, man? This organized chaos lasting 40 anything is an amazing feat, I would say, yeah. You know, so, well, I've survived 49 years on this planet, so I guess that means something, right? So, yeah. I don't have a 40 ounce, so we're not pouring any 40s yet. I'm expecting a 40 ounce, and I think my good friend of mine is visiting from out of town, so we are expecting that. Hopefully he does not give me a Colt 45. Those things used to burn like a mother going down. So, oh my God, I wish they gave me a. So, KMEGA, full disclosure, this ain't like any other podcast you've been on, sir. So, okay. I hope you're ready for this ride, my man. You know, it ain't.
Man, I see Supernova in here, so I already know how this is gonna ride.
Oh yeah, shit's gonna go down. Shit's going down. That shit's going down. Yeah. So. Yeah, it ain't. You're gonna be like, "What the fuck was I just on?" You know. So yeah.
No, trust me. I've been on some wild podcasts, so I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how wild y'all get today.
Yeah, we're gonna pop your wasted cherry, basically. There you go.
All right.
Well, welcome. As I said, this is episode 40. Thank you for everyone who has tuned in regularly. Right now, we got two people in the chat. RPG88, thank you, my man, and Rich Krishna. Rich. Let's make you you've been here long enough and caused enough commotion and insulted me long enough. Let's see. Let's make you a moderator. Let's see. Okay, manage moderator, standard moderator. Man, can manage bulk words and I'll give him a managed moderator. Let's do that. Yeah. Okay, so thank you guys for showing up, and we are of course expecting other people to roll on in as the day or the show progresses. We are expecting a full house. Cozy, Cells, everybody should be sort of rolling on in here. I got a message from Praxis saying that he will be a few minutes late, but of course he will be showing up in a few as well. So yeah, let me go ahead and introduce my panelist. To my right. My right or my left? Because like, fuck it.
It's your right. It's your right.
It's my right. Is
it? It's your right.
Okay, yeah, all right. Well, to my right is my main man, Super. How is your week going? What you been doing? What you been playing, my man?
It's been going. Still spreading that managed democracy as always. And then
you didn't get your panties in a furl when they made you sign up for PSN?
I'm playing on PlayStation, bro. Like it ain't a fucking big deal to me.
I know that. I just wanted to say that shit. Just
like, oh no. Yeah, no. I did that, and then my nephew, he wanted me to go and play through God of War 2018. So he's been hanging out over here, and we've been between that and Ragnarok. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Gameplay wise, no, but story, of course, yes. So I've been playing back through that, and I told him, you know, I love you, right, kid? Because I already beat this thing twice. I'm playing through a third time just for you, you little shit. But so yeah, that's what I've been doing.
So how far have you gotten?
Not too far. We just barely got to Freya's house. So.
Oh wow, you're just starting. You're like going into the turtle.
He's only here on Wednesdays, and he's only here for a few hours that day. So it's gonna take us a minute. I told him it's like a 30-hour game, bro. It's gonna be a minute before we finish this thing.
Well, you know, yesterday I had the pleasure of being paid for 8 hours of my time to basically babysit, which amounts to, if you're ever teaching a high school class, a whole bunch of guys bringing in either their Xbox, PlayStations, or Switch, connecting it to your projector, and you sitting back and watching the shit show happen. So yeah, I was watching God of War 2018, and I'm like, my students were playing it, and I'm like, yeah, you're not supposed to do that. Yeah, you're gonna get your ass killed. Yeah. Oh, you've never fought a Valkyrie? Good fucking luck. There you go.
Good luck with that. Yeah.
So yeah, I got to watch God of War 2018 as well. So they told me, Mr. D, can you please bring me God of War Ragnarok? Oh yeah, if I remember, I'll bring it for you guys. So anyways, all right, so. Let me go ahead and introduce my two guests for tonight. My first guy, basically popping his new cherry on this show, so I don't know if we're going to have him back because I don't know if he want to be back after what happens tonight, but we'll see. KMEGA, my man, what you been doing, what you been playing, and more importantly on this podcast, what the hell you drinking?
Oh man, well, right now it's just Gatorade. But
come on. At least it's not dinosaur piss.
Well, you're right, but when I do my podcast here after this, I will be indulging in the adult beverage. So
whoa. That's sacrilege. You mean to tell me, wait a fucking minute. You mean to tell me you're going to get wasted on your podcast, but not on my podcast? Do you know what the first word of my podcast is?
Yeah, I get it, but listen, you know what I'm saying? A drunk KMEGA can be a little crazy. So I don't know if you really want that. So you might not ask me back.
I want a drunk ass KMEGA, man. That's what I want to see.
Well, as old as I am now these days, I'll probably go to sleep. So I don't know.
How old are you, by the way?
I'm 48. I'll be 49 in August.
You're a child. I'm 49 too. So there you go. I'll be 50 this year. So
see. I'm trying to get like you, man. I'm trying to get like you. I'm just trying to hold on.
You mean old and broke, basically?
Yeah. Shit. I'm just trying to get away from being broke, but that ain't gonna happen. So fuck it. I'll just be old.
Well, having no money sort of happens after 20 years of marriage and 2 kids. So it's just sort of like the part and parcel for the whole thing, you know?
Yeah. I keep getting close, but these goddamn bills.
Yeah, these bills, man. I'll tell you, I'll be a millionaire if it weren't for these bills.
Yeah, right.
So.
Fuck the bills. I'm like, Dad, I need gas. Dad, I need more car insurance. Dad, I need 2 tires. Dad,
for fuck's sake, you need a job.
Trust me. I hear the same shit. Yeah. I got a 30-year-old and a 25-year-old, and I'm just like, nah, bro. You know, I got a son and a daughter, and I'm like, no. You know.
And don't get me started on the wife. She'll go to like a place like Ross and come home and she'll with like 500 bags and say, I spent $200 and saved you money. How in the fuck are you spending $200 to save me money?
You don't understand, honey. They were 30% off.
30%
Duh.
off. Yeah,
so this 15 grand I just spent is 30% less than the amount it would have been. You're welcome.
Absolutely.
So there's this local shoe store here called Shoe Time. I think it's owned by some
Al Bundy.
Well, maybe, I think I would have respected or I would have trusted Al Bundy more than the people that actually run it and operate it now. From my side of the ocean, basically. So yeah, no harm, no foul. So I can talk shit about them because they're my own. And anyhow, my wife goes there on occasion, and I tell her, I say, they always have this running sale of 20%, all shoes 20%. I mean, like literally, they could be open the box and it'll be 20% off, right? And I tell you, you better be careful, right? Because you need to be adding up all this stuff at a running total and make sure that they're actually giving you 20% off, you know? And she's like, no, I trust them. They're not going to cheat us. I'm like, what do you mean they're not going to cheat? We are the first people they're going to cheat, you know? So anyhow, one night I was with her and I looked at her receipt and, they had one of those bougie receipts, not on a register receipt, those handwritten receipts, from mom and pop stores. And I was counting it out and I'm doing the numbers and I'm like, and I told her, I said, not only did they not give you 20% off, they charged you an extra $50 on top.
See, yeah.
And she's like, how do you know? I said, honey, it's this thing called math, baby. Yeah, it's numbers have that thing. Men lie, women lie, but numbers don't lie.
Numbers don't lie. They don't. Yeah. They do not. But to your question, but to your question of you asking what was I playing, I just got finished playing some Ghost of Tsushima on PC. I've already had it and beat it on PlayStation. But yeah, no, the Nexus is Nexus, however you say them. They did a really good job on it.
Good port.
Yeah, great port. Don't even have to use the DLSS. It's just it's running over 15 frames. Just 4K. It's running. It's beautiful. It's always been a beautiful game. It's actually probably my favorite PlayStation game. God of War held that honor, but I don't know, man. Ghost of Tsushima is just a serious game to me. I really do like it. Also, been playing Sandland.
Tell me about that, man. I'm a huge Toriyama fan, and rest in peace, Akira. And just tell me. I want to know the details. Tell me good things, something good about it, please. Don't tell me.
It's not really. It's a slow grind in the beginning, and I've never seen the anime. There's people that told me that there's an anime to Sandland, so it seems like it's just following right up into there. Just getting started on that. Graphically, it's really pretty. It's got some really cool elements of how it seems kind of like very I'm trying to think of the right word to say. Like I'm just saying like it's a slow grind, but the combat seems really easy at first, but then it evolves the more that you play. And then you get into the tank action. And then so you can hop out of the tank, jump in the tank, you fight all different types of enemies. It's not a full open world game. It's a semi-open world game, but
more open zones, you'd say?
Yeah. And it's a lot of loot in certain places, and the combat can get pretty sticky there, and it feels fantastic. Controls are fantastic. That's another positive for it. So I would recommend people to try it out when it goes on sale. I bought it day one, but it's just one of those things. I'm like, I want to kind of support these type of games, especially when they come to Xbox and so forth. So I went ahead and picked it up. But yeah, I definitely like that. And then been playing a lot of NBA 2K. Maybe that's because of the playoffs. I'm saying OKC Thunder. We in trouble right now, but hey, that's okay. That's okay. We're gonna see what's gonna happen tomorrow night. But but I've been playing a lot of NBA 2K as well. So yeah, that's kind of like my three game rotation right now.
Quick question about going back to Sandland for a second. What is the gameplay loop? Because I'm a huge Blue Dragon fan. Back in the 360 era, and I've always craved for another one. I know there was like a 3DS variation, but oh well. But Sandland, when I looked at it, it seemed to be scratching that same itch, if you will.
It does. Okay, so like Dragon Quest, it has that type of vibe, combat wise. Yeah, like the combat of it is. That's what I'm saying. Like you kind of come into it, and it's really simple at first. Maybe like if you're playing like Noonie Cooney or Nuno, I always call it Noonie Cooney. Yeah. Well, I say it a kind of funny way too. But anyway,
Noonie in our language means penis, by the way. Go ahead.
Right. So, but anyway, that's the thing. That's so wild. Anyway, but shook his head and just logged. But that's the thing right there. That it kind of starts off kind of like that, and then you're kind of like, I wish there would be a little bit more combat, and then all of a sudden you get to another sector, another part of the story, and then it evolves, and it's got those RPG elements, kind of like Blue Dragon, Dragon Quest, things like that. So that's what I'm trying to say. Like it's a slow grind. You go through it for maybe the first 2 hours, and you kind of.
But maybe is it turn-based?
Different? No, it's action. So no, it's not. But I'm saying in the RPG element where you progress your character, like in Blue Dragon, it's like that. That's why I was saying it's more like Dragon's Quest on the way that the combat is, because it's a lot. It's just punching, kicking, and then jumping in a tank and stuff like that. So
it reminds me of kind of Xenoblade a little bit too. I mean, just the action aspect. I mean, it looks like Dragon's Quest to me.
For sure. It's got that Dragon Quest type of vibe to it. For sure.
The design style and everything. Yeah. It's the hard black outlines and everything. It's cool.
That's well said. So yeah, but I would definitely. It's not a bad game. At first I was like, oh damn, I might have made a mistake by picking this up early like this. But then once I got past the part where you the protagonist that's with you, and then you go out to a certain place, to this military base, and then you meet up with the girl that you've been following. You kind of just stumble upon her, and then you see her, and then things start to flow after that, and then like, oh, okay, this game is really cool. And then there's boss battles and things like that. So yeah, it's a cool game. I definitely would recommend people who would be anywhere near interested in it, go ahead and try it out. But I would recommend a sale.
Okay, so even if you were, let's say, okay, obviously if you're not into the genre, you need to wait for a sale. But say you are interested into the genre, and you sort of like, if you are like me, like Blue Dragon, Dragon Quest, whatever have you, JRPGs.
I'll pick it up.
Is it a day one buy, or is it something that you would still recommend waiting?
It's and those things are tricky because I don't know the level of your level of like how you like things to be detailed. I'm kind of one of those people that just kind of don't give a shit as long as the story starts making sense. As if I just want to be entertained. I'm not all about things got to be so thorough and it's got to be exactly on this point. So I would say to anybody who has that type of mindset like I do, pick it up day one. But if you're a person that is a stickler for things has to be like you seen it in the anime or how you read it in the comic or something of that nature, then I would say wait for a sale.
Okay, cool. I've been meaning to jump onto that game, and there's another game that I want to play because I'm a huge Vanillaware fan. Unicorn Overlord.
That looks pretty cool too. Yeah, I haven't got a chance to mess with that yet.
Yeah, I mean, I do want to play it. I've seen that the collector's edition has gone on sale to down to sub 100, and I'm not gonna know. I don't know if I'm gonna buy the collector's edition or not. If it goes down a little bit cheaper, maybe I might. But I'm a huge Vanillaware fan back from the day, so yeah, that game is on my to play list, and same thing with Sandland. So thank you for actually playing it. And
yeah. I saw gameplay of it last week on GRG, so. Yeah, I definitely try to get those games out there for those sticklers. I want to have some real crazy niche games showing gameplay tonight after here. So
cool beans, cool beans.
Yeah. I was going to say the Sandland looks like it's got a huge variety of like vehicles and things you can use.
It does. There's a bunch of different tanks, and then there's weapons, and then the little I forget his name now. He has a lot of like. Different attacks and things like that. So
it looks like a blast, honestly.
Yeah, it is. It is fun. Yeah, it took a minute, but like I said, now it's where it needs to be. And so I'm having a blast while I'm playing it.
Cool. Thanks. My next guest has been on this podcast multiple times, and we value his expertise. Mr. Faulkner, how's your week been going? What you been doing? What you been playing, sir?
Hey, how's it going? Pleasure to be back. Week was pretty busy, but now we're at the weekend, so all is good. It's a beautiful sunny Saturday morning down here.
It's a dream one outside here, so.
Well, it's something you said before that struck me as odd. You said you're talking about the shoe shop and they're your people from over the sea, but I didn't know Alabama had a sea around it, so.
I'll let you get away with that one, okay? Because you Aussies, you said down south so far, you guys sort of are upside down. Y'all don't know your seas from your ocean, so that's okay,
Sea of illiterate custom fuckers.
I give David a whole shitload of grief. I mean, everybody else who brings David in, he uses him as an expert. I use him as like a cock buddy, basically. So there we go.
What a guy. We sit here and slag each other off all bloody show.
Exactly.
He's the designated boomerang catcher.
Exactly.
I don't know how to respond to that without getting myself in trouble.
Look at that didgeridoo, sir.
I can play didgeridoo. It's actually quite easy, but what have I been playing? I was trying to get through Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. It's just given the combat is really irritating the shit out of me, to be honest. It's driving me nuts. What else have you been doing? I've been playing a little bit of Helldivers 2. And
statement, dude, you have to qualify. It's the same freaking. It was the same freaking battle mechanics as the first one, really, for the most part. So did the first one bother you?
It did. Well, it did to an extent, but I was able to deal with it. But in this one with the open world stuff, it's driving me nuts. You can't do anything until your ATB gauges have got some time in them, which means you can't start battles with anything that's like an item or a magic cast or anything like that. So you're basically stuck for the first few hits doing something that's a physical attack, and it annoys the shit out of me because you're limited in your strategy to begin with. So, and then you've got all this other crap with ranged versus unranged and who's strong against those that are weak against magic, but extremely strong against physical attacks. You spend the first 20, 30 seconds of a battle beating the shit out of them and going nowhere while risking getting killed. So it frustrates me that I can't take the battle from the start how I want to, because that's why I like turn-based games, because it's such strategy involved with some of the fights. But yeah, it's just irking the shit out of me that I can't do that. But that's a me problem. That's not a game problem. But I haven't been playing too much else other than that. I've been helping my son out a little bit with his ventures. He's playing Zelda Breath of the Wild at the moment.
The one game everyone in this panel uniformly hates. Okay, cool. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Wow,
what a guy. Yeah, don't speak.
He's stirring it today, isn't he?
Well, no. Like we had the pleasure of having 108 Dragons on for the past couple of episodes, and he just ripped Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, the whole collection, a new one. So he was like, "Yeah, that's a fucked up game," and I'm like sitting here like, I don't think it was that bad, but oh well.
Nah.
Right.
Nah. Oh, look, the young fella likes playing it. He's enjoying the story, he enjoys the characters, the open world, the combat and the battling and weapons breaking and all that. He's really enjoying it, which is good.
He's enjoying the weapons breaking. Wow,
it's a good. Dark
I don't know. He does some. He finds ways of having fun in the game, and at the moment he's running around beating up the weak red guys are that have the clubs. Some kind of goblin. He beats them up. Yeah, those things. He beats them up, takes their clubs, and then goes and finds the skeletons at night, and then beats them up and steals their arms and runs around with their arms, slapping people with it, saying, "Here, take this."
Runs around screaming, "Here, piggy."
Has he gotten the Master Sword yet?
No, he's not even not close to that one yet. We're still, where are we at? He's got to go and, I think the next thing he's got to do is go and beat up that big elephant that's in the water. I can't remember what it's called.
Oh, Von Ruda, right?
Yeah, that thing. It drives me. Some of the sounds and the repetitive music that goes on in that game drives me nuts. But he's having a good bit of fun with that. And yeah, that's pretty much it. The wife's been playing a lot of Fortnite and enjoying that with her friends. Occasionally get dragged in to do a round or two with that, but I suck at Fortnite, so yeah. That's pretty much it.
Well, being poor at Fortnite ain't anything to be ashamed of, because I get on those things and I might as well have 2 left thumbs on you basically. I don't even know what the fuck I'm doing.
It's difficult for me because I'm so used to playing like with Helldivers and other tactical shooters and whatnot, where you're talking with other people, head west, head east, up map, down map, reloads, cover, and all the rest of it. You get used to talking with your group of people that you play stuff with, and her friends, they just giggle and laugh and run around, and they're pretty decent. They'll go top 5 most games they play, and I'm hopeless. They'll be off doing something else, and I've been doing Overwatch, and I'll turn around and they're halfway across the map and they didn't tell me. So then I'm left out on my own and I get absolutely annihilated.
You're in the zone. You're like, Jesus Christ.
So some of my IRL friends came up with a drinking game, basically. So like all of my friends here, obviously,
you're almost 50. Can you just say it in real life? God damn.
Well, I'm trying.
My IRL friends said this funny thing, and I was like,
to cater to the young audience. Okay, I'm trying to. See, unlike some other companies,
there's rules against that shit. You're not supposed to be trying to attract a young audience, mate. There's rules against that shit.
That's creepy shit, dude. That's creepy.
Wow.
Hey, I like a little jailbait in my life. I got to say, that's all.
Hey, I ain't gonna be mad at you about that one.
Anyhow, but we got
I don't know this man. I do not know this man.
We play a drinking game. We so they all have we all play with our kids. Me and my friends will be playing in the living room, and my kids will be.
Man, you might be right. I might not come here because I don't want to be an access to any crime.
Let me go ahead. That is not what I meant when I said I'm playing with my friends. Okay, my wife wouldn't allow me to play with my friends just like that without her contributing as well. But anyhow,
Agent, that gentleman right there. Yes, please. Thank you.
But we have a drinking game, so whenever we die, we take a shot, and I swear to you God, within 15 minutes we're all gone. We're all pretty much fucked, So I mean, I can't play that game because every time I get in, all I see is big ass towers everywhere. Like people keep building up and up and up and up.
No build mode, or was that
there's a no build mode?
Yeah, there is a no build mode.
The last time I played it, there was, but yeah.
It's still there. That's the one the wife plays.
Why doesn't anyone tell me this shit? That's what I want to know.
I don't know. Pay attention to the menu, damn it.
You're too busy chasing little kids.
Chasing little kids. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, because it's summertime and the ice cream and the ice cream truck makes them run the other direction. So I got to run behind that ice cream truck.
Jesus Christ.
All right.
I'll talk to y'all later.
So before we get banned from Twitter, from YouTube, let me go ahead and introduce the rest of our panelists. Triple, my man, how you been doing? How your week been going? And what you been doing? What you been playing?
I'm tired because I only got like 4 hours of sleep and I wanted to take a nap. But family,
you need to stop masturbating so much, man.
I mean, I was working on a project that wasn't involved with that, but sure.
Is that what you call it these days? Okay, working on a project.
Air quote, the project.
Sure. Yeah. In this project. See, I'm on camera this time, so I can do that.
There we go.
Yeah.
But no.
Building upwards and onwards, right?
I wanted to take a nap, but I had to go take my mom to the vet. So I was like, well, that plan goes out the window. So
you said you took your mom to the vet? What?
You did say that. I'll just kind of like, well, you know what? All right.
I mean, I know the medical system in America sucks, but I don't think you need to be taking a human to a vet. I'm just saying.
Well, you gotta take the human to the vet who has a dog. So therefore, I technically did take my mom to the vet. Okay. There we go. Y'all, come on. Now. Anyway.
My mom used to be a bitch, but I never took her to the vet for it. Though, but anyway, I'll go ahead.
I don't. If that's the first thing that goes to your mind, I don't know how y'all grew up. I don't know anyway. But what I've been playing, playing Starfield now because they have the 60 FPS patch, and I finally, after it was bugged since December, I finally finished the sabotage quest for Ryujin. So that was
dope. That was so dope.
Those are like the only missions in the game I actually liked. I like those corporate espionage missions.
That was pretty good. I hated the final stealth part because the game, unless my speed skill is the game is not built for stealth. Like I would take 1 inch forward and everybody was like, he's right there. I was like, bro, what?
not even that. You'd be like up in the rafters, like he's up there.
I got lucky getting maneuvering and finding ways through those rooms. But have you used the perk that you got when you beat it?
The manipulation. I used a bit of it during the mission. Mm-hmm. I just finished the part where you have to get the board members to come to a decision on whether you keep the was it LT Infinity or something like that, whether you use the text. So I used it a few times to get them to sway the direction I wanted, which personally I was like, I don't think we should be using this tech. But outside of that, I haven't used it so far in terms of like actual gameplay because, like I said, I just now finished the quest since it was bugged since December. I don't know when they fixed the news reporter guy was like stuck outside the map for so long. So I had to wait for them to fix it. I tried to fix it on PC with the whole NPC console commands, but you couldn't get the achievements after that. So I was like, I'm just gonna wait till they patched it. So, but I haven't used it outside of that so far. So, the 60 FPS is, man.
It almost kills all the dialogue. And you can fucking get what you want no matter what.
Yeah, I mean, like, I had to do perceptional. That was just the confusing part. Like, some of the conversations when I was trying to get the board members to vote, it's like you can use perception or persuasion rather, and then some of them forced me to use manipulation. So I don't know if I had like the right information to try to persuade them without using it. So, but I mean, it's nice. So I have to restart. Oh, you failed persuasion, restart. But we'll see. But this 60 FPS is pretty good. I'll say that much.
But I thought they said that they made the artistic decision to keep it at 30 and that it would have been 30.
I mean, maybe it was an artistic decision in terms of what'll help us meet our deadlines. Maybe. I don't know. I wasn't in the room.
You're not playing the game the way they wanted you to play it, man.
It's good. I will say, and I watched Digital Foundry breakdown, and they're right on the sense of it was Jameson, where it went from like 60 to like 20 for a second. Like my eyes were murdered for FPS. Yeah, it was bad. But I'm on was it Neon right now, and it's running pretty smoothly right now. So it's good. I like it. I like that it's actually running in 60 FPS. So, and also I picked up playing Elden Ring again because the DLC is coming out next month, and I'm trying to get all the achievements, which I just have to beat the game 2 more times. Is
that all?
Yeah, just 2 more times. I'm sorry, just 2 more times. I mean, once you know what you're doing, it's kind of easier to rush through the second time. Like my first playthrough was like 100 hours or so, and my second was like 30. And I'm sure if I'm just rushing through the main story,
but I mean,
the funny thing about Elden Ring, I remember like me and my son were playing on the Xbox 4 with it, and my wife was just cleaning around the house and she was watching us play, and that fucking man when you leave the catacombs, that horse.
Oh, yeah,
I keep forgetting his name.
Oh, yeah,
the
first
tree
optional mini boss.
I think it's tree. I think it's Tree Sentinel.
That's exactly his name. That's his name. Yeah.
He always gives me I'm always having a hard time with him, you know. And I guess because I'm like really weak when I come out of the catacombs and everything. And but anyhow, we were playing and she kept noticing that we kept going back to the same guy and getting our butt handed to us.
It do be like that sometimes. Like, you probably should go off and level up a bit. Like, nah, I'm gonna beat this guy. You're dedicated.
Bro,
you know?
I went leveled up and came back. I was like, oh, I'm gonna fuck this motherfucker up now. And I went back and he still whooped my ass. I was like,
I'm gonna do now.
No, the funny thing is that she's like, why do you guys keep going back to this guy? You keep dying. I said, why don't you try it?
So I'm sorry.
She grabbed the Xbox controller and she was holding it upside down like this.
Wow,
why you let her embarrass herself like that?
She was pressing pressing the left thumbstick.
These are grounds for
actually
divorce,
the right thumbstick.
I wouldn't. I think somebody showed me a video. Somebody playing Smash Bros with the GameCube controller upside down. I was like, I can't even fathom doing that right now. But yeah, that's
no. So that freaking horse lord. I mean, there was no there was no like stutter in the animation. That horse lord just walked up to her, swung its weapon, and she died. And it said, "You died." And she's like, "It's over. The game's over." I'm like, "Yeah, you died." Yeah. She's like, "What do you guys see in this?" That's like,
yeah. So doing that, one of the characters, I'm at the third final boss, but with all the NPC quest lines, I'm like, if you beat the third final boss before the second or whatever the proper sequence order I'm trying to say there, it'll lock out one of the areas. So I was like, do I have everything before I continue? A part of me just wants to rush through it now because that's why I haven't beaten it, because I'm too lazy to browse the quest lines to make sure I'm not skipping anything. I've already completed a different character. I'm still just like, because the NPC quests don't tell you what to do, so it's like, shit. So doing that, and then I also picked up Dead Space again, trying to do my impossible run with my plasma cutter. So, because my thought process is, so you got to beat the game on New Game Plus.
The whole game with a screwdriver.
No. So this is what I'm playing, right? You got to beat impossible mode. That's one achievement. Another achievement is plasma cutter only. Another one is get all the weapons upgraded, and then another is New Game Plus. So I want to do impossible plasma cutter so I can get that in one playthrough. And then I'm going to do upgrade all your weapons in New Game Plus, assuming everything carries over from your previous save. So that'll make the upgrade all weapons easier while New Game Plus in it. So then I could get 2 or 4 achievements in 2 playthroughs, give or take, roughly, if the math pans out and it works the way I want to. So that's what I'm hoping to do. But
the juice really worth the squeeze, my friend. God damn.
I mean,
man.
Dead Space is one of my all-time favorite games. So I rarely platinum.
I love it too, but you're doing like no playthroughs.
No. I mean, so I rarely platinum or achievement hunt unless I really like the game, and this is one of them. Just like with Elden Ring, like I'm 2 achievements away from that, so I'm just like, I really like the game. So,
how many games are in your backlog?
Too many.
There's my
This is a monumental week.
Don't forget. I still play a crap ton of Destiny. So that's
I was about to say fucking Destiny, bro.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah. So, and the most stressful part, I haven't gotten there yet, but there's a mission. If anyone played the remake, is you get to the room where there's a nuke, and you don't want to blow up the nuke because you'll die instantly, obviously. And if you do that on impossible mode, you're gonna lose your whole save. So I'm kind of scared to get to that room because I just got past one of the rooms. So it's kind of like an instant kill because of the environment. So I was like, okay, we're good. I'm calm a little bit now because that's stressful. That is stressful. Now I gotta get to the room with the nuke, and I'm probably gonna pass out trying to get through that. So yeah. Otherwise, I gotta start all over again.
At least can't you save like prior to?
So yes, but if you die and you can't load
back to the previous save?
No, it wipes it. So I think it's either it wipes it or knocks it down a difficulty tier. So you have to do it all over again. So I could try to like quickly. I could either like, I don't know how to do it on Xbox. I look at, so I could probably like have the save file off.
You gotta pause real quick and then rip all the fucking power cables out the back of the console.
Yeah, force close like as fast as possible, or find a way to like save scum my way through and do that. But I'm just like, we'll see. So it's good, but it's stressful.
Well, real gamer reincarnate says whoever plans on doing the DLC for Elden Ring needs to make sure that you have access to
mode. Oh, I've already beat him. Mode, yeah. So I've already. I've already fought him. I think I fought on my other character too. So the first character I beat it with, I haven't done New Game Plus because I'm like, I'm not going to New Game Plus because I want to go into the DLC on New Game Plus. I did that with Bloodborne, and the final boss kicked my ass. So I was, I had to get help for that one because I was like, I probably shouldn't New Game Plus this.
I wonder if he's talking about, well, he's saying Moog, but what about the other part where you fought the guy that you first introduced to? Yeah, the guy that was in the white.
I get their names mixed up, but they're twins. Yeah. The first one was on the bridge, and then you find him in Lindale, I believe. But then the second one, he's underground somewhere. I forget his name, but he's like the blood on me. I believe.
Right,
and that's where you find.
You got to go back to Moog's location in order to fight him. So I wonder if is he talking about that? Well, I got that
probably because the DLC trailer showed where the boss fight end with Moog, whichever one. I keep forgetting, but there's like an egg cocoon or something with I forget, Mikola, I think is his name. He's wrestling there, and that's where the DLC trailer popped off at. So I was like, okay, you got to go there. Most likely to go there, trigger the DLC, so you have to fight that boss. But
you got to fight that, but that would make sense. That's why I was asking, because I was like, oh yeah, Moog, yeah.
Like I said, they're lore-wise, they're twins, cursed twins, or something like that. So I get the names mixed up every time. I'm just like that guy with the horns on his head or whatever, and there you go.
Yeah, I cannot believe, as a person who hates Dark Soul type games, Elden Ring, I was locked in. I was locked in.
It's good. It's probably the most forgiving of all the Souls games.
Yeah.
I think.
Okay.
Yeah. With the
hell no, nobody can tell me that Melina chick was forgiving.
Okay, to be fair, she was optional. She was optional.
She was optional. In the ass, but I mean, when you have optional bosses, or
I almost gave up gaming.
Walk around, or let's
Melania got us right. She
fucking hanging it up. Fuck this game.
Yeah, so the only
you walk away and come back, their health is all the way back up, and you walk up, you take away half their health, dip, heal up, do what you got to do, and come back. Their health bar is still at halfway. Like there's so many, many ways that Elden Ring is way more lenient than all the other Souls games.
Oh yeah, definitely, especially with the when you're, I think every boss fight, I'll have to look into it, lets you do the spirit summons, if anyone knows that, where you can summon like your little spirit ally. So that helps immensely for people. I remember people like, if you use that, you're a noob. I was like, do whatever you need to get through the game. But
people was already calling me a noob being a wizard. I'm like, I mean,
spells are
zap on me.
Hey, if it's in the game, melt the spell in the game. So you do whatever. I know. It's been moments where there was I forget his name, but there's like, I think it was like Commander Neil or something like that. He was in the snowy castle. That boss was like just destroying me. Somebody came in with the I forget the name of it, but it's the Kamehameha spell attack, and they just sat there beating I was like, okay. I mean, I had to learn to dodge and jump and juke and jive, but you just blast them away infinitely. I was like, this works. We won. I'm done.
The one that gave me the most trouble was that bastard riding that tiny horse in the fucking desert.
The one right.
What you call its husband, right? That was
I remember I was getting pissed off, man.
I know who you're talking about. Radon. It's Radon. General Radon. You know when he disappeared the second half. He's like, where the fuck did he? He just comes down to like, that was. I mean, the first time going through that was hilarious because he thought you won. This dude just nukes you. I was like, well, shit. You got to do it all over again. So, Elden Ring was definitely fantastic. So, it's looking forward to the DLC. Yeah, I mean.
Real Gamer said that you enter the DLC through the egg in the
Moog boss arena. Yeah, where I'm not going to repeat what some people say about how to capture Mikola and kind of just like shove him in the corner. He was like, yes, my little. I'm not going to finish that sentence. Dude's creepy. That's all I'm going to say. Dude's creepy with Mikola.
Let me move on. Boss Man is here this evening. Doom, how you doing, sir?
The boss.
Boss Man.
I don't know why you got to continue to keep saying that. I'm nobody's boss.
You're my. Well, no.
You
got to have me on, and you'll always be my boss.
Why you keep saying that shit?
You're the founder of the feast. That's all.
Yeah,
I wonder if you can sign off on my hours for this week.
No problem. Did you put in overtime? We ain't allowed overtime here. We don't have.
I punched the card just like you told me to. Mopped the bathroom twice. Filled up all the napkins.
David just gave me the financial report, and looks like layoffs are coming too. So,
car's already dick.
Well, as long as you fire us and then don't come back next week and announce that you got new panelists on the phone.
Oh, I'm not replacing anybody. I'm getting laid off too, so I'm joining the crowd. So,
so how you been doing, sir? What you been doing? What you been playing? What you been doing this week?
Doing good. We had a good show last Saturday with David Retro and Logic. We were going to do one tomorrow, but that had to get pushed because I got a work thing going on now. So that'll get pushed to Sunday. It's around 3:00 in the afternoon. Retro and I will sit here and talk about whatever it is we need to talk about. I just been going. I've been seeing too many of these. That the douchebag from Kansas City Chiefs and his. You should have saw. I played the video for my wife last night. She's looking at me, and I'm like, what a fucking idiot.
Talking about
Are you serious that you're going to sit there and you're going to tell women to stay home after the whole Me Too movement and all this other shit? It's like, wait, and then here's the thing: his mother is like a medical scientist.
Oh wow!
Oh, you're kidding?
He's had a silver spoon shoved up his ass, and that's the luxury of his life. And then let me ask you this, because here this throws to you, Wize. And I'm probably sure with Darth, what is going on with the whole this generation thing? I keep seeing what is it? People who are going after Generation X and the millennials are fighting boomers, and I'm like, what the hell is going on with the world?
Listen, man, you can't.
Stupid people.
Bro.
I was gonna say it's like
millennials don't know how to change a fucking flat tire.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah, it would be best for them to fight amongst each other, not to fuck with Gen X.
And their version of parenting is giving their kid an iPad, and that pretty much tells you everything you know about Z. And
I don't think they understand that Gen X had to go outside and just make fun.
Make fun. Hell, I had to
fun, bro.
Yeah, we was poor coming up. You know what I'm saying? I wanted G.I. Joes, but shit, I had to use twist ties to make little men. You know what I'm saying? So until I started cutting lawns and shit. So it was we was just built different, man. Yeah, we was built different.
I think we were the last good generation where all this crap with social media and all this other bullshit sort of like infiltrated and corrupted everybody in their.
We have a generation with infinite knowledge at their fingertips, and they know fucking nothing. Infinite knowledge at their fingertips.
Infinite knowledge.
Let me throw this to you. I saw this.
Super.
I think it was either on Twitter or TikTok.
What do you expect?
Okay, what were you saying?
Here this woman is, and I guess she got to be in her 20s. She's sitting there and she's getting gas, and she looks at the guy and she's like, "Well, what kind of gas should I put in?" He's like, "Well, what do you want to put in?" She's like, "Well, this gas here is from 1987, and this gas here is from 1989. So I want to go with 1991 because it's newer gas."
Wait, she thought the ratings was the year.
Hey, Doom.
These people got to be doing this for money. Go ahead.
That's got to be someone trolling.
Yeah.
At least it's not the person that tried to take a Tesla and put fuel in it. I mean, literally, they were trying to pump petrol.
You're trying to be stupid at that point. Yeah. Like, I feel like you got to purposely be trying to troll and get that interaction.
No, sadly, it was a female.
That was genuine.
You're talking
stupid people.
It's always going
crazy things, dude.
They do.
They're fighting over a cup, a glass. They're fighting over water cups. Okay.
No, seriously.
What do you want to say?
Seriously, I wish I was making that up. I really do.
Lining up for
the fact that somebody was trying to put petrol into a Tesla.
Well,
at least they managed to open the charging port. They had the right door.
They should have just filled up.
I mean, might have caused some damage.
Yeah, you tell them. Oh, you don't use the red one. The red means no. Use the green. Use the green nozzle. The green means yes.
Oh wow.
As they put diesel in their vehicle. Oops.
Yeah.
Honestly, I that would be the kind of person I'd be half tempted to go. No, you're supposed to actually be in the car with it. Doors closed and everything. Just let it pump. Do your thing.
I trolled the lady and told her, "Oh no, that's the green gas because
It's more environmental friendly.
Girls that dumb or the type you can be like, look at the sign, miss. It says full service. I'm gonna need something from you.
And don't forget to light the match once you're done putting the petrol into the car.
Yeah, no.
But Doom, what have you been playing, sir? You didn't tell us that. You playing anything good?
You're playing Misogyny, the video game.
I wouldn't mind that. A couple months ago, I just totally stopped gaming. I didn't play for like a month and a half, and I got back into it. My son and we've been playing the Gears franchise for co-op.
Nice.
He's looking for everything and anything that can basically be a co-op. I mentioned last week, David sat there and said about the Lego stuff, so now he's on my ass about getting those games.
Bro, it takes two. You know, it's an amazing.
He's played that on Game Pass, and I sat there and I told him, I said, listen, I said, I have the game on PlayStation. I says, we can play it. No, it doesn't work like that. I'm like, what do you mean it doesn't work like that? He's like, well, you're on the Xbox and I'm on it, or you're on the PlayStation and I'm on Xbox. I'm like, I think it is. It might be like
it's cross
platform or something.
Should be cross.
Is it cross?
I believe. Don't quote me on that. Actually, it should. I think so.
But I got him like Outriders, so we're gonna dive into that.
That's a fun game, man. I really enjoyed it.
Oh, yeah. I beat it when it first came out on Game Pass. I played it.
Was that Trickster? I think I was using. I think that's
what I used. Trickster.
Oh yeah. I like the big dude and the dude with the rock, and then and the pyromancer or whatever these called. Yeah. So
the other one was The Expense, and I think Cozy was actually playing that. I finished that.
Yeah, Cozy. Yeah.
That. I didn't think that was actually really that bad. I'm going to wind up going back to platinum it, but I mean, I enjoyed it for what it was. I thought it was a really good story and everything. So,
it makes me miss the show is what it does. Fuck.
It does. Okay, Darth, then you answered the question I thought, because I think it was Wario might have posted it, or somebody might have posted it on Twitter or something like that. There is a TV show called The Expense. And I'm like, I wonder if that's.
You don't know about the goddamn show?
No.
Oh, fuck, dude. Go
fuck. Come on now. That show is phenomenal.
Come on. Sci-fi shows ever.
It's got an amazing intro.
Really?
No, I have never watched it.
The last season kind of takes a little bit of a dip near the halfway point, and it kind of they rush it because it got canceled. And I think it's like 5th or 6th season, but fuck, dude,
isn't it on Apple TV?
Amazing sci-fi show.
Yeah, it's on Apple. It's on Amazon Prime.
Amazon Prime.
Hear me out real quick on this, okay? I literally last week I just sat down and was able to watch all 3 Hobbit movies. I never watched any of them.
12 hours later.
Okay,
I feel sorry for you.
Same thing with the Avatar. I actually have my son was sitting there and he's watching the new Avatar with me. Now that's not as bad as the Hobbit movies, because the Hobbits are 10, 12, 13 years old or something like that. But I'm trying to catch up on as much as I can.
Asshole? I mean, come on. Call yourself a fan.
What's that?
You were saying what practice? You said what now? You were saying what?
I was saying you weren't at the theater with me watching it. You call yourself a fucking fan. I mean, my God.
You're a little low, Praxis.
We're going to go see.
Yeah.
Dude, was it tomorrow? Loud as shit.
Yeah, tomorrow night we're going to go see the new Planet of the Apes movies. So I have seen all 3 of those, so I'm up to date on that. So, but I can't wait for that. But that's basically all I've been playing and whatever.
All right, cool. My man Praxis, how has your week been going? What you been doing? What you been playing? We missed you last week. Obviously you had obligations that you couldn't get out of. That's fine. But yeah, tell us what you've been doing. What you've been playing.
What? Oh, I've been fucking working. They put me. So I've been on part-time work because of my whole medical issue, and so finally, I was able to go to a doctor's appointment and prove that my heart function has actually gone so significantly up that my boss was like, "You're going full time again." So when I say full time, so I'm an HVAC mechanic for commercial buildings. So that means I'm up on rooftops for like 10 hours a day doing like PMs on air handlers and all kind of shit. And so it's a hard long. That's why I'm a little red now.
Bless your lucky stars, you're gonna live in Arizona, sir.
Oh, fuck, dude, fuck that. No, those guys can kill themselves doing that. I wouldn't touch that. I'm up in Idaho, and that's enough for me, dude. It gets. I got a heat stroke a couple summers ago.
You said what? You do what to a hoe?
110 degrees on a rooftop for 8 hours. Yeah, that about killed me. So
I'll tear your ass up. Yeah.
I was up on a roof for 7 hours before this. I basically drove in, changed, and then sat down, and I was still late. So sorry.
It's the reason why our state doesn't have any motorcycle helmet laws, because you can pass out from wearing that shit.
Well, yeah, pass the fucking the guys driving without helmets are dumbasses. I'm sorry. I watch them.
Yeah.
Like, okay, good for you.
Right.
So what you been playing? Anything good?
Because been playing nothing. I've been fucking killing myself at the fucking rooftops. I haven't done shit.
Oh.
Well,
No.
By the way, there's an ice cream truck coming. I apologize for that.
I've been playing the economy.
Cool, kid.
But the benefit is that I'm actually back to actually drinking again. So.
There we go. There we go. Oh,
that man had some liqueur.
That man is ready.
Well, that was my bourbon, and then I got my beer, and then I got my other beer.
Boy.
So
see, that's how you do it, guys. That's how you do it. That's like you have a buffet of alcohol.
Correct.
That's the way you do it. That's the way you do it. So my man,
celebrating. So because a couple days ago they were like, when I had the problem. So I had a stroke a year ago. So I had I had 3 strokes actually, but I had one stroke that took away my capability to like form words larger than yes, no, maybe, I'm fucked, and because of that, they did some research and they found that I had a clot in my heart that was caused by COVID, and so I had to take.
So I just have a question. Was the phrase literally "I'm fucked" as in that's you could only say, or
I could say
I'm fucked? I was just making sure, like that's very specific. I'm fucked.
Like, yeah, you're fucked. Yeah.
Who's jamming out to the Billy Joel?
I don't know. Somebody is.
I think that might be. Speaking of which, that might be Jim. Jim, my man, how you doing? What you been doing? What you been playing, my man?
Well, I'm doing all right, and thanks for letting me know, because somehow my little music player turned itself on without me actually touching it. So there we go. Yes, indeed. As far as things that I've been playing, well, I've been playing Life. Taking the dog to the dog park, socializing him, trying to get him used to being around other dogs. He's still a puppy, about 8 months now, 8 months now in age. So don't worry, he's running the account. So he's holding the dog biscuit to my head, telling me to say these things.
So what you been playing? Anything good? How's your game going?
We're kind of rethinking plans. How do I want to word it? We're kind of taking it into a different direction. Well, not necessarily starting over, but taking it into a different direction. Where instead of doing 2D, we're thinking of going more 3D instead. So we're just kind of taking it that direction. I know. Aside from that, haven't really been playing much. I've been doing like I said, the game of life, and going to make some bread, so that way I could, buy dog toys and dog food, keep the puppers entertained.
Cool. All right. So we are expecting a few more people coming in, but yeah, we'll introduce them as they walk in. So let's go ahead.
No, we're not. We don't need them.
Well, they'll be coming. I'll tell Loki said that, by the way, and we'll see how he feels about that.
Hey, it might get him in here faster.
Exactly. Well, actually, we do have Loki in spirit. Doomsayer is going to be able to play the role of Loki while he's gone. So, anyhow, so we do talk about a little bit of stuff that is not necessarily game related, but in the genre of gaming, comics, books, and everything. Furiosa reviews came out. Got a 10 from IGN, and it's in the Mad Max universe. I don't know. Is it prequel?
It's a
prequel,
prequel, yeah.
It's a prequel, yeah. It's a Fury Road.
Yeah. So anyone interested in seeing this movie?
Oh yeah, I am for sure.
Hell yeah!
I love Mad Max.
Yeah.
I want to see how Furios's eyes go from being so far apart to like regular distance apart in Fury Road.
Oh my god.
Well, maybe she hits her head really hard.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, Anna Taylor-Joy is a cute girl, but goddamn her eyes are not too goddamn far apart.
On.
Oh, come on. It doesn't make a difference. When you turn off the light, you can't see her eyes anyways. What difference is that? But, yeah.
Jesus.
I mean, we're not... The only time we're ever going to see... Any of us is going to ever have the privilege of meeting Anna Taylor-Joy is... if we have a Vision Pro and we download the Pornhub app. That's the only freaking way we're going to be able to do anything with.
She wouldn't be the person I would select, but I mean, go ahead.
Well,
I mean, she's not bad looking, but I mean, I'm not gonna.
My thinking with her is this. My thinking with her is this: with her eyes being the way it is, maybe like with her. You know, my penis could be like one of those 3D pictures. Iguana,
which is looking this direction with this eye, this direction with that eye.
No. Do y'all remember those 3D pictures that you had to sort of cross-eye yourself to look at and popped out or something?
Magic eye pictures.
Magic eye. So my logic is this. Okay, I'm going to go to her and I'm going to pull down my pants. I'm going to say magic eye and it's going to make it look even bigger. So that's my thinking there for that one. But anyway, so... But yeah, she's fine. I enjoyed her in The Menu. The Menu was a phenomenal movie. If you've not ever seen it
was pretty good.
Yeah. So
what's the Queen's Gambit?
That's she's. One. Yeah. What was it that Queen's Gambit?
That was the chess movie on Netflix. It's fucking amazing.
Yeah, that was a good one too. I would just like a fucking Mad Max movie.
Oh yeah,
that's Max in it. God damn it, because Fury Road was, Furiosa the movie. Before there was Furiosa the movie.
It was Furiosa prequel before. Well, this is the prequel, but yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mad Max in Chains. Yeah.
Yeah. And he had Tom Hardy.
Does no one watch the original 3 Mad Max movies?
Oh, fucking
of course. How many times have we watched that movie?
Master Blaster.
Master Blaster. Yeah.
That's a good one. I mean,
I just wanted to check. You're saying you hadn't seen a Mad Max movie with Max in. I'm like, well, if you watch the trilogy, the original trilogy, you'd understand why.
Road Warrior was amazing, but the original Mad Max, I still think, is my favorite.
You think so?
Oh yeah.
My buddy would actually disagree with you. He is a Beyond Thunderdome.
I was going to say I'm the Thunderdome guy.
Rubbish.
I love Thunderdome. Then it's the first movie.
What the fuck?
See, I'm a Road Warrior fan. I like the second one. I enjoyed the first one, but I really love the second one.
Well, Road Warrior went to a total action movie.
Yeah.
Whereas the first movie was actually
it's because Road Warrior had like a budget. And the first one, it was like no budget.
Well, it had no budget, but it was really well fucking done for no budget.
It's like the first Terminator, bro. The first Terminator had next to no budget compared to what T2 became.
I didn't know. Was it George R. Miller is like 80 years old?
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
And they're already
the
starting the second one or the next one. He said.
Yeah. Oh, he'll never stop working. So George R. Miller did all the Mad Max movies and these ones and a few other movies, right? He's also the same director who did Happy Feet.
Yep.
Oh my, yeah.
Oh wow. My wife loves Happy Feet.
No.
You're serious about that?
That is
yep. Same guy.
Happy Feet.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Happy Feet goes.
One man entered.
But to be honest with you, Happy Feet is criminally underappreciated. I think it's really good. I mean, Robin Williams did a really good job in Happy Feet, and I enjoyed it. I mean, for what it was, So
hey, listen, man, they played some Earth, Wind, and Fire during that movie. I was happy. No pun.
It reminds me of the dichotomy between like Robert Rodriguez movies, where he makes like these hard R movies, and then the fucking terrible children movies that he makes, and you're like, Jesus Christ, what the fuck are you making?
Doom, Callie has a question for you, by the way. It says, "Yo, Wize Gamer, why does Doom have Loke's profile pic?" So you want to qualify that, sir?
Wait a minute, I'm putting videos together here, so hold on.
Okay.
Wait a minute, I gotta. What does he say?
Callie wants to know why you have Loke's profile pic.
Loke's picture in your profile. He's like, why are you stealing his picture, man?
Because I love that face that Loke right there. He was given that Loke or that face today to what is it, Auschwitz or the other gentleman from Mozambique today. Those two, man, they were going at it really good. Auschwitz, maybe this is the reason why the generation thing just keeps popping up in that stuff. People in their like from 35 all the way to 18, you gotta do yourself a favor and get the stick out of your ass.
Did you say 35 to 18? Usually when we say ranges, they start with a smaller number, sir.
They're sitting there and they're complaining about the dumbest shit.
Well, I gotta complain about a dumb shit. Do you age backwards? Like, do you age backwards? Why would you say 35 to 18? Shouldn't it be 18 to 35?
He got the point across. That's all that matters.
It's that crowd. They're making a big deal about everything. Like they were talking about it. I'm sure it's going to be one of your topics.
You know, I have my own thoughts. You know, I'm in that group, but you know, I don't really follow what we're all talking about today.
I'll answer
more
his
than
dude
happy
set his
to
profile in
and
Texas,
hear you out
the
and that
default
stuff,
image.
right? But
I don't even know what's the issues these days.
You're sitting there and
they stress about all types of shit these days. It's crazy.
But he's sitting there. They're talking about the Assassin's Creed thing, and he started going through this whole thing of why are they not putting this, and I get it. I totally get it. Why are they not putting in like the heritage and everything else from Africa and that kind of thing? And it's like, dude, it's a video game.
Right.
Play the video game.
Right.
Yeah.
It's
it's made by Ubisoft and not fucking National Geographic.
Right.
Right.
I want to make sure I'm understanding. Well, he's saying for the newest Assassin's Creed Shadow, or and he's saying why they don't have more African representation or like story beats in the game,
because it takes place in Japan, asshole.
Yeah, that's why I was like,
what are we doing here?
I mean, like at most they could probably like that's the thing, the game hasn't came out, but like at most maybe they give you a backstory, you know, a little bit. But in terms of why is it a game like set and like it takes place in Japan?
Here's something here. Okay, did anybody on this panel watch the TV show Shogun?
Yeah.
Okay. So why isn't there a big backstory on the white dude?
On Jim Carrey? Oh yeah, Jim Carradine. Yeah, that's.
Why isn't there no backstory?
Whether it's a Jim Carradine or James Carradine, it's one of them together. But and that was crazy. My grandmother used to watch that because I used to watch Kung Fu Theater after we came from church every Sunday, and right after that, that came on, and I'm like, I've never tripped out. I thought his Kung Fu sucked, but other than that, like I dug it, you know, and that's the whole thing. Like,
okay, KMEGA, you're old enough to remember this, and Darth, you too. You could probably remember this as well. Doom, I think you could probably remember this too. Do you remember the USA Network?
Yeah, it's still on.
Yeah. Okay, so remember there was this guy that was dressed up like a superhero every Saturday, and he would show these Japanese or Chinese TV shows with kung fu or samurais and stuff like that. I miss that show.
Oh, that would be Chinese.
I don't remember that. But.
No,
here's the thing, and KMEGA actually brought it up. See, before Fox became Fox, like it is.
Yeah.
Fox used to have. I used to get up in the mornings, and you'd sit there, you watch X-Men, and then all of a sudden WWF.
Yep.
And then after WWF, you had all your kung fu movies, Chinese Super Ninjas, and, you know, the Five Venoms and all these. That's where I watched it. And they
fucking Cripple Master.
When Bruce Lee passed away, they for years they would have the week that he passed away, they would have all of his videos the entire week. So I would sit there and watch them. The greatest thing is when Friday came, or it was actually Thursday night when that the movie that came on was Game of Death, and the only footage that you see Bruce Lee in that entire movie is when he's fighting. That's it. Right? There's a picture. They actually show, and you can see it in the video when you watch it. They put a fake Bruce Lee.
It's like cardboard, bro. In the mirror.
It was awful. I remember seeing it. Yeah.
I'm like, what the hell? And then Friday night would be Game of Death Part 2, and it didn't even have Bruce Lee in it. It had three different different guys. But
dude, the
I
double they picked for Game of Death didn't even have like a similar body type.
No,
it was just an Asian dude in a bowl cut. It was like, dude, he don't look like Bruce Lee at all.
No,
like, what are we doing here, guys?
It's crazy to me. I was just for us being older, and I played as every character there possibly can be. You know, white women, white men, Japanese men, Chinese men. You know, and now you get a black man on the cover in a game, and then now we're over here tripping out. What the fuck? Like, I mean, come on. Like, I just don't get it, man. I'm pissed off about that. Like, I just don't understand. And it's just like what Doomslayer is saying. Like, you know, the Fox News era, the don't tread on me, all that bullshit. I'm not gonna get political, but it's just more of this thing to me is where it's like this shit is fake. It's just almost kind of like how people are going crazy on the DC and Marvel stuff. It's not real, people. This shit is not real. Right. It's okay. If you don't like it, then you don't like it, then speak with your wallet. But but we're talking about being entertained. And I just don't know, man. It just blows my mind, man.
You brought that up. Let me throw this to you. Wasn't there an Assassin's Creed that took place at Valley Forge, which is literally 10 minutes away from where I'm at? And the assassin was actually an Indian guy.
Oh yeah, 3. Yeah.
Excuse me, Native American.
Yeah, not Indian. The proper word is Native American. We don't get called.
Don't say Indian just because Christopher Columbus didn't know where the fuck he was.
Yeah.
Okay.
How can I put it? I feel. How do I want to word this properly? So, like, for one, with the Assassin's Creed thing, Yasuke, I believe that's his name. Like, he was he was a real person. So people talk about like, oh, it's not his story. Like, just Google search and you'll find out that he was a real person. And if I seen that, I didn't read into the article, I only saw the headline, but some people are saying like people in Japan may be upset about it. And from that perspective of if you're like, hey, we would like for like a historical Japanese figure to be present, less about it's a black guy, like we just want more of our like ancestors will have you more as the main protagonist. I kind of understand it, but if you're just saying, hey, it's a black guy, I have a problem with it. I'm like, well, I mean, I don't want to say it, but you're just being racist unless you have like a proper
I'll be honest, I'm a little bit annoyed by it, and this is the reason why. It's with these things in games and entertainment, it's not so much that the character's black that annoys me, it's the reason why, right? Why is that character black? And we know the reason why. We're gonna pretend like we don't know why the two main protagonists are a female Japanese character and a black man.
I knew me and Super.
Mega, you got the mic.
Okay, I was waiting for Supernova to get started because we've had these discussions before over time. You know what I'm saying? Man, this is the reality of it. It's just like I just said before. I played as white men and white women and everybody goddamn else forever. How about you motherfuckers go ahead and play as us and enjoy it?
Listen, KMEGA, I played as a black guy in Deathloop, and I had no issues, bro.
But that's what I'm saying. So why would you have an issue? I mean, listen, people. It's not that he's black that annoys me. It's the reason why he is that annoys me, because we know why he's black and why the other character is female.
Let me ask you this:
why are we gonna pretend like we don't know why?
No.
Let me ask you this. The only question I have to ask is like, at what point can you have a female lead or a black lead without you saying this feels forced? So you're trying to get social points. Because if you keep pushing it back and saying we don't want it because we know what you're going to,
triple when it doesn't feel forced, bro.
But how does it with the games that out yet?
How can people tell stories?
The only I feel.
Let me ask both you gentlemen.
Apparently, Super woke up this morning and chose violence.
Outside.
Go ahead. Let me finish this real quick. I just want to say the only reason I think people say it feels forced is because of the Sweet Baby Inc. stuff and the conversation surrounding DEI or some shit or what. I feel like because of those conversations are in the social space, that's where people say it's starting to feel forced. But if you had these characters introduced, like you said, with Deathloop, where that wasn't surrounding it, and you're like, I don't have a problem with that's the only reason I feel like it feels forced now, because that's on everyone's mind. Like, oh, you heard about the Sweet Baby Inc. situation or whatever have you. That's why it's on the forefront. It'll make you say this must be forced now. Like now you're starting to question it. But
But hold on. Now I'm going to take this a little bit further, because since I've been I've been doing this podcasting thing and whatever for a minute, and Triple and everybody else on here, all you got to do is go back to my channels. I mean, on my channel and look at the stuff that I was talking about. This shit started with Halo 5.
Oh, with LLOUCK?
Yeah, with LLOUCK. And then it also moved on to when they were over here upset because the black gentleman from the the Harlem Hellfighters was on Battlefield 1. I was told from somebody from Europe that said that blacks did not fight in World War I. Only thing they were in the soup kitchen. I'm like, if you brought your white ass over here in the States and said some shit like that, you would run your ass back to where you was. But it's okay.
That's the same person that sat there and said blacks didn't fight in the Civil War. The Civil War either. Jesus Christ.
Well, no. But that's the thing to me is that this has been happening. These culture wars, as they call them, has been happening ever since they started seeing these people, and it's ridiculous because that's why Supernova. That's why we're saying, how does it? When does it not feel forced? When
let me ask
forced.
you.
It's just
Okay, great. Let me lay this out. Okay, we've had all these previous Assassin's Creed games, right? The ones that took place in Italy, main character was from Italy. Ones that took place in America, main character was Native American.
What about a Black Flag?
Hold on. Well, yeah, the pirates, bro. In Egypt, main character was Middle Eastern.
Hold on. I don't continue. Go ahead.
Listen. All I'm saying is, when it comes to this one, we finally have now a Assassin's Creed takes place in Japan. Yes, we have the female Japanese character, but again, female. Yasuke. No, okay, great. Outside of his skin color, what is Yasuke's historical importance to Japan?
Because see, I've seen this too, is where people have been talking about, well, he's a retainer. That means he wasn't
listen, his rank doesn't matter to me, whether he was a samurai, a retainer, or emperor, irrelevant. What I'm asking you is, what is his historical importance?
He fought in feudal. He was up under one of the most popular, if not the most popular, I forget what they're called.
Houses or
I forget their actual names. Where he worked up under
daimyo.
I forget what the higher lords of that time. I forget what their actual name is. Somebody in the chat, please save me on that. But anyway, he built his way up to become so popular amongst the main guys.
It might be daimyo. Yeah, I mean, it says powerful Japanese magnitudes of feudal lords.
Yeah,
he was an actual from what my understanding was from watching the developer.
He carried his sword in every. He carried the main guy's sword.
If I'm going to be honest, nobody knows for sure. There are all kinds of multiple interpretations of what this man's life was or was not. Nobody.
But wasn't like officially like a label?
Was Exiel's life was completely
black samurai? Or some sort of he was a famous black samurai.
Yeah, he's even Neo, the first Neo had him as a character. I believe that could have been. I know they had a black samurai in there.
He was the bad guy. He was the bad guy.
I think he has anime about him too. Like I'm not saying he doesn't have shows or games. All I'm saying is, of all the samurai in the existence of Japan in the thousands of years it's been around, we go to Yasuke. And listen, again, for me, all that matters is the game awesome? Is the gameplay great? I just listen. For me, I look at it and I see it as force. You may not see it as force. I see it as force. So it annoys me a little bit. Am I still going to play the game? If the gameplay is good, that's all I care about.
I mean, it comes down to what type of story they're going to tell and how he fits. If you put him in a situation and, well, it's still fictional, so how important they want his character to be, it's up to them. But if you kind of like put him in a situation where he was like, if you're trying to be historically accurate, he just wasn't present, you're like, we're going to put him there. But he was never in blah, 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 battling feudal lords or blah, blah, blah. We're going to put him there anyway.
The problem
is probably where you can.
Nobody knows, and there's so many tellings of Yusuke's story and history, and there's this telling of
I mean, like, so that's
telling of the story, and nobody knows for sure.
And that's why I say,
a
like,
lot of historical figures nobody knows for sure.
I mean, like, they could have done several people. Definitely, of course, they definitely could have done a lot of different people, and that's why I say, if you're looking from the perspective of, hey, especially if you're in Japan, so we have a lot of important historical figures in our history, why would you not pick them over Yasuke? I understand that, but again, if you're saying, and not saying you are Nova, but you're saying people are saying they're trying to get social points, or they're just being completely inaccurate just to please people. And it's like, we don't know the story that they're trying to tell, and One thing I do have to ask too, like, I just have to ask, like, what's the problem with one of the characters being a female? Like, you have female. Was it when you
again? Nothing. But when there's two protagonists, and one is a female Japanese, and then black male in feudal Japan.
The Valhalla had a female lead. The
which I played the majority of.
Brother and sister. That's something they started doing since what Odyssey.
No. They did that since the brother and sister one. Which one was that?
Yeah,
London.
That was the one in London.
And was that Syndicate?
It came out. Syndicate. That was Syndicate. Yes.
So they had a female lead with Syndicate. They had a female lead with. There was a PSP one. There was an African
until Odyssey.
It was a black lady. It was a
like I said, Triple. Everybody's gonna feel different about it. When again, me personally, when I look at it, I feel like I see boxes getting checked. Is it a bad thing for the game overall?
No,
all that matters is the game good.
No, I get you.
It's hard for me to not see boxes.
No, I get you. I'm just kind of confused because, like I said, before this one, there's plenty of other Assassin's Creed that had a female lead. So it's like you just added another female lead. But I mean, I guess when you combine the two together, you could probably say they're checking boxes. But in terms of previous iterations of Assassin's Creed, like I said, with the Syndicate, I think even before that was the PSP where it was a slave that was turned. I don't know her character backstory, but I know they had like a black female lead on the PSP. Liberation, I think. Was the name of it.
And they got a Russian, and then they got
It didn't happen again until Odyssey, I think.
Yeah, so it's like you had female protagonists.
Yeah. I'm just saying.
Hold on, let me
read
this.
No, go ahead, K-MEGA, go ahead.
Okay, I just wanted to read this. It's okay, Yusuke or Kaze, however you say his name. He was revered for his strength and for his work ethic. He was allowed by Nobunaga. That's the guy that he worked under.
That explains why it was in Neo, because I think Nobunaga was one of the main characters in
right. And he wielded his katana, and he's like he carried his sword, which is a sign of trust, and it provided him a higher status than most Japanese people at that time. There is all this information that you can go to and find out about this man if you know nothing about it.
But maybe what he's trying to say is that if you're basing it in Japan, then pick Japanese people.
But okay, then play Ghost of Tsushima. I mean, shit, there's plenty of games out there that just has nothing but Japanese people.
All I'm saying is, for example, if the next Assassin's Creed, and obviously the one for took place in Egypt is technically Africa, but if there was one that took place in like some African lands, and the main character was some white warrior that existed at some point in African history, I'd be like, why the fuck is this white dude?
If there's a distinction of his history that makes sense where he's there, then I have no fucking problem with it.
I have a question.
When I look historically at all the samurai that existed in the history of Japan, Yusuke doesn't even top 20.
Well, I mean,
samurai. In terms of importance or historical importance, what he did for the country, he's
obviously
it goes by what the story they're trying to tell. Right. Secondly, like I said, if it's the same character, he was in Neo as well. So there's two games that have feature him
and Samurai 5.
So it's like you had him feature in multiple games from, as you mentioned, KMEGA with a different game, and then with Neo, the main character, they say he's based off of William Adams. Like, did people have issues with the main protagonist Neo being a white dude in Japan speaking English?
No, he's a real person. That's what
I believe. Okay, look.
That dude came from England though, and he was not a samurai.
He became a samurai in the game.
In the game, but he's also fictional. I don't know. Like I said, for me, it's just hard for me. It's just hard for me to not
what I'm thinking, and we're going a little bit too long on this.
We are. I mean, it's.
But here's the thing. This is what I'm going to say, and then we're going to move on to something else. What I think is this, and you're right about this, Super. Is that they had an opportunity to pick anybody, but they chose this one specifically. And you probably when this was in the design phase, they probably had a list of possible protagonists that they were going to use, and they settled on these two. And I hope that when they chose to settle on these two, the reason is because through the game we're going to find out the backstory and why the choices were made the way they were made. You know.
Like
So-
if they're
they always do that.
Yeah, as long as they're like again, as long as the stories and
as long as the game is good and the
game's good, the story is
that is
good, and
all
you
that
make it make
matters.
sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say this that the DEI mandates through Hollywood and through the game
I'm always
industry.
about to go out.
No, I just had
No,
to say-
I'm just talking out loud. My lights about to.
No, but
go out.
that's a real thing. It's a real thing.
Mhm.
The BBC is actually the most notorious for pushing that kind of thing and really making it a big deal. And and even if they chose this because of the backstory and they wanted to focus on the character, I really don't have a problem. I don't have a problem with it, but I do know that they do take these things into consideration and that it's a huge push. Well, I understand, but I don't like it when they take a character that exists as one thing and turn it into another.
No, I get you. No, I agree there.
Problem with that, and I go, well, there kind of is.
I agree there. Like, yeah,
I can understand if they make a George Washington game and make him black. Then okay, then we got a fucking problem. But I mean, that's not what we're doing. That's not what's happening.
I'm saying that's not what they're doing here. No, and when I brought up the BBC, they literally have made Queen of England black in BBC shows. So they've literally done these things. Yeah. So it's
famously Bridgerton.
It's not that they
Bridgerton. They famously made the Queen African American.
Yeah,
Bridgerton.
But
they also get kickbacks on their loans and shit to make these projects when they.
But
it's a long story.
And it may have factored into it, but the truth is, and you're right, that this person existed.
The 130 RPG.
And they chose to go this way. That's their choice. And
as long as it feels as you're saying, Super. As long as the story is good and doesn't feel like you shoehorn them in there.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. And this is an Assassin's Creed game. They're going to take license with obviously, this person existed. They're going to take as much as they can into it, but it's a game. They've got to.
Right.
What was his name?
Listen, Leonardo da Vinci never actually met Ezio Auditore. Ezio's not real. Like obviously,
the Apple Eden didn't exist. Hey, I just want to say, RPG 88, you're dropping 130 on the game. You're the no, I'm joking. I hope you have fun if you actually.
I'm getting that collectors.
Anyone seen the reveal trailer? Anyone keen on this game? By the way, since we've been talking about this
I would say for myself,
I need to say gameplay. I don't.
No, I agree. Yeah. I will say for myself, I think I own every Assassin's Creed at this point, minus the spin-offs and like the PSP games. I only beat the first one, so that tells you my interest.
Yeah, see, to me that was the worstest one. So that's why
they're going to scale back because Valhalla was just out of control in terms of the
like you want to have
you didn't like Valhalla? Okay, so this is not.
No. I like Valhalla. That game does not end.
Like
it never ends.
Oh my god! Okay, so
if you tell me a game has to take, and it's not JRPG, but you say the game has to take almost like 100 hours to beat, like why? Because they have so much fluff.
I had so much fun, but see, I'm just different like that. Like I like to get my money's worth. So if I'm putting through 300-400 hours into a game, then I got my money's worth.
No, I get you there.
If you personally enjoy that gameplay loop, of course.
Right, I do because it's Witcher-esque in a way, if you think about it. I love The Witcher.
For myself, and I haven't played it, so I don't know how the mission structure is set up. But like, if you have, like I said, I put like over 100, probably almost 200 hours into Elden Ring. First playthrough is pushing 100, but span across multiple characters. But if you have enough content where you can have 100+ hours in the game, that's fine. But if you say to beat our game, you have to do like 100+ hours to beat it. We're not talking side content. It's like how you have the main mission structure where you basically have to put a lot of time, and it's not even fun activities. So I guess the short end of it is like, if it's balanced of the main missions is fun and it doesn't feel like it's forced filler, then I'm fine with a lengthy game. But if it's lengthy because you're adding filler content or you're having, was it old school Gears of War conversations where you stuck walking the whole time to do the conversation? It's like, this isn't great.
Like if you enjoy the gameplay loop in Valhalla, fucking awesome. But I mean, you can't say that game isn't padded.
No, it's nowhere near as padded as Odyssey was. Odyssey was way over padded. That was where I said, "Yo, this is a little bit too much." And then they dialed it back on Valhalla.
All three, but Origins, Odyssey, and Valhalla. I think Valhalla's.
Oh no, Origins was perfect.
All three of those they were a little longer than they needed to be. Or Origins was the least of the three.
Yeah, of the other two.
All three of those. Yeah, all three of those. So I'd like to hear that they're scaling back. I'd rather have more substantive things to do than a bunch of the same things over and over again for 100 hours.
Okay, so now I'm a little bit different than you, Triple. I sit there and I bought the first Assassin's Creed, played it, hated it, and I never went back until Syndicate.
Yeah,
I never bought another. I hated the first one so much.
It's honestly hard to go back and play the original one.
No, it's so.
I heard that now.
It's hard to go back.
Just a quick little summary for myself. Like I beat the first one, and like my friend let me borrow the second one and Brotherhood, but it was more so like over the years. I think I went to GameStop one time. I saw like a lot of the Assassin's Creed on sale. I was like, let me pick that up. And then I got Valhalla because it was on sale. Then I got I got Valhalla because I got CPU. And I was like, hey, you want Valhalla? I was like, yeah, I'll take Valhalla. And then I had Unity somehow because I got an Xbox One. It was on my account somehow. So, like over the years, I just picked up all the Assassin's Creeds over time. And I've dabbled in a few of them. Like I think it was Origins that I started to play a little bit. And then I started playing a little bit of Odyssey. But I just haven't sat down and like actually played through them. I think I got far in Brotherhood, and I was either dumb or the game glitch. I was like, why can't I progress any further? So I just stopped playing after that one. But I will say Unity and the co-op part was fun, and I wish they put more into Assassin's Creed.
And that's what I was going to make my point, because I eventually bought all of them because I'm like, okay, I'm liking all the rest of these Assassin's Creeds after this, and everybody tells me that Black Flag is the best of the best, right? So I went ahead and I picked up all of them, even the smaller ones. And so now I've just slowly start going backwards. And so when I went and finally played and beat Unity and beat its DLC, I can't see how somebody could say that a game is like Valhalla is bloated when there was a lot of the same type of shit, except it was just more condensed in Unity, in my opinion. I mean, I damn near put about the same amount of hours into both games, Unity and Valhalla, but Valhalla had more DLCs, but yeah, I don't know, man. I just love that loop though. So, and I love Ubisoft and I'm a big fan of Ubisoft because they take chances like this. And that's the thing for me to go back to praxis on that. I mean, so it's just like, I think Ubisoft is not afraid to take that chance, while some are because of but when we're looking at the demographic of gamers, it's not just this person, that person. It's all we don't know who we're playing against or playing with in some cases when we're just playing with random people. So that's what I'm saying, like the demographic, that thought process where it just can't be, too many women, too many people of color, too many of this, too many that. This is a melting pot. And there's way more women than what some people may think that are playing games now in this era. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying.
Somebody mentioned when somebody was talking about Elden Ring earlier.
I'm out, man.
Hey, look. Somebody was talking about Elden Ring earlier. One of my friends on Twitter, her name's Lexi Dark. She's fucking incredible. She goes back to Elden Ring and all the Dark Souls games and plays them on level 1 and like fights all the main bosses, and she's fucking awesome.
I couldn't do that. Level 1 all the way through.
No, she does it and she fucking wins. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, she's fucking good.
Crazy.
So watching her play that, it's incredible. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I think we lost Wize. His profile picture disappeared.
Uh-oh.
Oh no. They only got the topics on.
But we got our IGN Sony representative here. Go ahead, Loke. Go ahead, start that.
Hey, Loke, how you been? How's it going? What you been playing? Did I run it by correctly, guys? I think that's how he usually introduces, right? Okay.
You did.
Oh, he said it.
You did. I'm here. Okay. I'm trying to put all these fires out, basically. Yeah.
Yeah.
How you been doing, Sloke? What you been doing? What you been playing, sir?
Stella Cheeks, baby.
Haven't you masturbated enough to that game by now? Like,
no wonder that explains why Sega's so long to beat it. Like he's just
listen. That ceiling's not going to repaint itself.
Listen, I am taking my time. Like I'm playing all the side missions. I'm reading all the codex. I'm enjoying all the views. If you know what I mean.
When a man masturbates, it takes about 24 hours for it to come back and everything like that. So
it's
only so many.
Wow. Your nuts are broken, sir.
I don't know about you, dude. I need like 24 seconds, but okay, that's not the topic.
Oh my god.
So what else besides Stellar Blade? Anything good?
Just Stellar Blade, dude. Just Stellar Blade. Let's go.
Man, with a mission, I respect that, man. Focus. Don't be like me. I say I've been playing like 3 different games and not being in any of them. So, you know.
That's me.
How many times have you beaten it? Haven't you beaten it by now?
I haven't, dude. Like I said, I'm playing all the side missions. I'm doing everything. Like I don't know if I'll get the platinum, but I'm definitely doing everything that I think would get me the platinum.
Are you using is that a starter skin you choose to, what's it called, like no protection skin or something like that, where you take extra damage, or is that something you got unlocked later?
If that's what I need, if I need to play with that no skin thing to get the completion of the game, then I won't get the platinum because it's too fucking hard, dude.
Oh man.
Pause. But yeah, it is hard.
It was too easy. That was not even that. I know you sort of set me up to hit the ball out of the field, but out of the park. But yeah, it was just too easy. It just didn't want to bother. Yeah.
Yeah, but no, I'm not using the naked skin thing. I'm just having a blast playing it with normal clothes, and I love the balance of challenge. You know, like it's not fucking Elden Ring challenge, but it is. You still can't mess around and be like, oh, I'm just gonna mash buttons. Otherwise, you're not gonna get anywhere with this game.
So let me twist back to Assassin's Creed. I do have a question about this game. We've been asking.
Oh, I just popped the trophy. Records collector.
You just
collected.
You just popped again. You need to clean yourself up.
I collected 200 data bank entries.
Nice. That man worked hard out there.
Hard is the word, brother. Hard is the word.
No Diddy. Anyway.
No Diddy. Definitely no Diddy.
After what we've seen, Jesus Christ.
Yo.
All right, let me pivot off of this back to Assassin's Creed. And David, I want to go to you on this because I've not heard from you in a minute.
He has so much time. Hit the man.
So we've been asking Ubisoft for the longest time, fans have, that please do an Assassin's Creed in Japan. However, that conversation has been going on for years now. Since we've been having that conversation, we've had games that sort of scratch that same itch, like Ghost of Tsushima, Rise of the Ronin, and others that are just sort of escaping me right now. Do you think that's going to play into the sales of the game, or do you think those people who are strictly Assassin's Creed fans are going to like it? Or like, what do you think is going to happen? Like, do you think that this is going to get the success that they're hoping that it's going to get?
There's probably two parts to that, and you've both a lot of people talking over the last half an hour probably touched on both of those. There's a lot of people who like Assassin's Creed games because they've got a lot of similarities in their gameplay and the way that they deliver them. There's a formula there that works. They'd probably tune up a few things around how big, how long, how core versus optional storyline stuff is, and probably attract a few more people. But people have been asking for one based out of Japan or based out of Asia for a long time. If it's a quintessential Assassin's Creed game and it holds that core personality of an Assassin's Creed game or identity of an Assassin's Creed game, then yeah, it'll do all right. I don't see why it wouldn't. Will it attract a lot more people? Well, if it's holding true to what the fans love, it's probably not going to pull lot more people in, particularly with Ubisoft's lack of penetration into Asian gaming markets.
I don't know.
So I don't look. If they don't build those games to go to Japan and tell Japan gaming fans that this is your history. They build those games, and they do the same thing for all the Assassin's Creed games have done. They take something that they can research and build a storyline around, and they develop it for the broader market or the broader appeal of the market, which is predominantly US and Europe. So I don't think they're going to be in a bad shape. I think it'll be more of the same. I don't particularly expect much more than that, to be honest.
So do you think that like now they're trying to with this is like their first major Assassin's Creed since they've sort of talked about the Infinity Initiative, where like I guess it's like I guess for lack of a better word, I guess that it would be almost like a launcher, right? An Assassin's Creed launcher, if you will, and anything that's Assassin's Creed has to go through said launcher. Motivation behind this, what do they want to achieve? Because they already have a Ubisoft Connect or something like that. So why have another system like this?
How do you make money where you can't currently make money? That's pretty much what it'll be. If you've got a launcher, think of it like doing a tiered system. You can get Ubisoft Plus, which gets you access to a back catalogue of whatever they put in there. And then if you want to play Assassin's Creed games, you got to pay that premium to unlock that extra area. Wouldn't be the first time Ubisoft's tried to do something really scummy and then blows up in their face, but it wouldn't stop them from trying.
True.
Lap size.
So I want to open this up to everybody else. And Doom, actually, I want to go to you first. What do you think? Do you think that maybe they're a little bit too little, too late in the area, basically, where they're making this next Assassin's Creed? Do you think that games such as Rise of Ronin, Ghost of Tsushima have sort of taken some of the thunder away from this launch, and therefore maybe less? They may be getting less sales than they would have had they launched this game prior to all of those coming out.
No, I mean, you just like you sat there and said, you have Ghost of Tsushima, you have Neo, Wulong, Rise of the Ronin, and all that.
Sekiro, yeah.
Plus, I asked everybody here, did everybody see or anybody see the Shogun TV show?
I didn't see it. I know it's based on. I mean, it's basically a remake of the original Shogun show that came out in '81.
And I mean, you could sit there and use the TV show too to help you push your game and that kind of thing. I think they're kind of riding a wave. Might be, a
renaissance. You might say.
Yeah. Whatever's you have here. You had the first person shooter genre, and everybody wanted to do a first person shooter, and then that kind of died away, and then everybody's doing third person over the shoulder, and then it's the action adventure game, and then it's the horror game, and
I expect their sales will probably be where sales have been in their most recent games. Like I don't see sales being helped by anything like Ghosts or anything like that. I don't see the sales being hurt by something like Ghosts or Rise of the Ronin, because Assassin's Creed is still very much its own thing. Again, we'll really have to see the gameplay of the game to see how close it gets to what Ghost is, or is it more along with like Valhalla and Odyssey and all that shit is. But I don't think it's going to be hurt by games like Ghost.
Here's another thing too, and everybody on the panel knows this. You never go and buy Ubisoft games when they first come out, because a month later they're like half price. So it's like I don't buy Ubisoft games right at the start. I think the last one I bought, I pre-ordered The Division, but since then I don't buy anything. I wait until it goes on sale, and then I buy it. So I mean, sales, you'll get your 1 million or 2 million copies. I don't know what the hell they're looking for to sell, but like Nova sat there and said, let's see what the game looks like. We just saw a trailer. We didn't see any gameplay. So let's see what the gameplay looks like, and then make a better judgment of what if you're going to go out and buy it, if it's going to have good sales, things like that. So I would just wait.
So here's a question, Praxis, to you. Why haven't they shown gameplay? They've shown pretty much everything else. Like they've had the developers talk about it. They've shown, the cinematics and all that. Why are they sort of dragging their feet when it comes to showing gameplay?
I don't know.
It's not done. Is there an ulterior motive behind it? If maybe the question is that is.
When are they planning to release it? I can't remember if they even mentioned the
October?
date.
November?
I believe they announced the date.
November 15th.
Yeah,
November 15th.
November.
Maybe they're waiting. They could be waiting for summer. They could be waiting for the whole summer season to show it off, doing a digital event, and they just wanted to tease it to get people, put it in their head. They want people to start thinking about it, and because it
Trigger everyone.
Yeah. You know what to say? Negative publicity or some shit is good publicity.
Like your buddy on the show there, Luke.
Get that out of the way first, and then showcase it later.
Like your buddy on today's show there.
Yo, Ushers was very salty today.
All right, Mega. Let me get. So Ubisoft has 2 big games coming out this year: Outlaws and this game. Which one do you think?
Did you forget? What's the call that came out that I can't remember, but
Pirate game. Yeah, that was a good one.
Skull and Bones.
Game who I can't remember.
Skull and Bones is not bad, actually. Skull and Bones is not bad, but
Pirate Ship Simulator 2024.
That's exactly what it is. Yeah, but it's not a bad game. But for what they were asking, no. But anyway,
it's a glorified mobile game.
It's a partial game is the problem I have with it. It should be something more than it is. And I think
there's nothing to do once you get off the boat. It's like, what the fuck, man?
Right.
Okay, so what do you think? Do you think, I believe, and this is just my opinion, I believe Outlaws is going to outsell it.
No fucking.
Well, it's a Star Wars game.
Yeah.
It's a Star Wars game. It should outsell Assassin's Creed, but the one thing that I think you guys have missed on is that all of the latest Assassin's Creeds have generated more money than any of the previous Assassin's Creeds before Origin. So now, as a matter of fact, I think the sales were down for the latest Assassin's Creed that dropped, which was back to the traditional way with I can't think of his name right now. Mirage, which and Mirage is a good game. It's solid, but I know, and he was such an asshole in Valhalla. Oh my God! Once you found out about everything about him, but anyway, I just Star Wars is Star Wars. Star Wars is a bigger property in my opinion, but I would just say to people that are interested in both is something that I do is subscribe to Ubisoft Plus. I mean that's the ticket right there. Like I mean I got it. I'm going to get the Assassin's Creed for not only just because of the fact that we've got a black man on the cover, but it's the fact that I love Assassin's Creed. So I like the newer versions of the Assassin's Creed, the open world ones. So I was going to get that regardless. But Star Wars, I'm a little bit on the fence for. I don't know how I feel about it. I know it's not going to be bad, but I just don't know if it's worth me spending the money that they're asking for, because I still have a problem with it. Yeah, I still have a problem with the $70. Exactly. A $70 price tag, and then you got $130. Yikes! No, man. I just not for the Star Wars game, but I am a fan of that.
It's an unknown thing. The past 2 ones have been excellent. They've been amazing, really well done games. But the question is how is what it's going to be. Is what it was, is it going to be as good as those other games? It's a complete departure. It's something totally different, and it might be good. But the Star Wars property, honestly, from a consumer sales perspective, Star Wars has took a huge fucking nosedive the last few years.
Oh well, it has.
Thanks, Kathleen Kennedy.
but based on that too. But the biggest, I mean, look at the toy sales. Their toy sales are so bad that Hasbro is about to fucking gonna like file for bankruptcy at some point.
Bro, they had to shut down their fucking Star Wars hotel. How do you lose money with Star Wars?
Famously so, the Black Series of their action figures, the Black Series never went on sale. Those were like the highly configurable, posable.
They've all taken a shit. Everything's taken a shit. They've made so little money that they're in deep shit. I mean, Disney all the way around. But the problem is that going to affect the game? The game itself should stand on its own. If it's a great game, I hope it does. But honestly, I don't think it stands a chance against Assassin's Creed.
I don't think it does either.
You might be right. You might be right. Because people, how gamers have been buying the games. They go to what they're familiar with, and they're familiar with Assassin's Creed. even if it's the older version or if it's the more open world version, they feel comfortable of buying that and supporting that, just like they do with COD, just like they do with
the most successful Star Wars games in recent memory are going to be Jedi Fallen Order and Jedi Survivor, and they don't come anywhere near the sales figures of Assassin's Creed. And in my opinion, those games are better than Assassin's Creed.
Well, my whole point was going to be it's the $70 price tag that hurts new IPs, period. Like, people will trust a sequel because they know what it is. But when you bring this Star Wars game and it looks great, right? Like, I'm going to play it, of course, but it's $70, and I still don't like the fact that you're asking me for $70 and then you're asking for $130 for the Ultimate Edition.
You're telling me people go to things that are familiar, but isn't Star Wars familiar? I think it's more familiar than Assassin's Creed.
The IP is familiar, but not the style of gameplay in that universe.
Right.
It's based on a character that doesn't exist, which you could say the same about Jedi Survivor, but the whole point about Jedi Survivor those are
Souls-like.
He's a fucking Jedi.
Yeah.
This character is not based on a Jedi.
This is Han Solo simulator without Han Solo.
It's Solo, the game.
That's a good point.
It's only with the female character,
but that's what we've been wanting, because in the sense that
right. I mean, I don't know if it's what we've been wanting, but it's essentially going to be basically
Empire, for Christ's sake.
Uncharted in the Star Wars universe, which could be a good thing, could be a bad thing. Who the hell knows? But at the end of the day, I still don't think it's going to come close to Assassin's Creed sales.
Back in the N64 game, in N64 days, Shadows of the Empire was a fucking Han Solo game. That's what it was. And it didn't sell great at all. It didn't do great at all. And it was basically what this is then. Okay.
Well, we've been...
Jade Empire was a dope-ass game.
Well, but
Jade Empire was great.
Jade Empire was phenomenal. They need to revisit that IP.
Right, they do.
I owned it, but no, it was not. It was not.
No, but my thing is this, okay? We've been watching like The Mandalorian came on Disney Plus, and everyone first season, everyone erupted over it, right? And they're like, okay, this is the type of game we want. We want to be able to go to planets and this and that and visit these things and do these things. And like every other game.
Character, though. The Mandalorian is something, and it's also been built up into something bigger now. So people look at it. They look at Boba Fett. They're like, cool, it's like Boba Fett, but it's something else.
That show's so dick.
But there's
and the thing is, right, you're right, Wize. We want this game where we can go and explore and go anywhere and do anything. But the thing is, when it comes to this game, we don't know if that's exactly the game we're getting. Yeah, they showed coming off world and going into space and then hyperspace to the next planet, but is that scripted? Is that like what you have to do?
Starfield looked great somewhere else.
I feel like there's a little bit of smoke and mirrors there to make it feel like we can go anywhere, do anything. I don't quite think it's gonna be that.
From what we understand about this game is that there will be multiple worlds, and each world it's going to be kind of like Fallen Order, where you're going to go to the world and you'll have a predetermined path type situation. So each world is like an open zone of sorts,
right, which is great, but it's not going to be this. Oh, I'm going to go this direction and find my own adventure type shit. It's going to be like, here are these predetermined planets I can hyperspeed to.
Mm-hmm.
But then we have another problem with which you guys was bringing up, which ain't gonna be a problem for me because I guess I like bloat. But but that's exactly, if that game is going to be what some of you guys think it's going to be, where it's not scripted and it is open worlds that you could go and then there's going to be bloat and there's going to be a lot of bloat.
Listen, I love collectathons, bro. If there's shit all over the map to collect, bro, I'm there.
If it's a shiny thing, I'm getting
sections at a time.
Yeah,
you can't move on to the next section until I clear this section. I love
if wood and vases can be broken, I'm breaking that shit. I'm just weird like that. So
pretty and shiny. Give me rupees, motherfucker. Give me goddamn rupees.
Well, I mean, I think whenever we played a Star Wars game, for the most part, in recent memory, which we're not talking about even further back, but in recent memory, we've been playing as Jedis. So I'm looking forward to playing a Star Wars game where I'm not a freaking Jedi, or a Sith or whatever you want to call it.
R.I.P. Star Wars 1313 was it?
Right.
Yeah, 1313 famously was not. You were not playing as a Jedi.
Right.
What a fucking amazing looking vaporware. I mean, totally fucking badass. I'm like, God damn it! Why did?
What people want is Knights of the Old Republic. That's what I think Star Wars fans and the public would jump on because they there's something there that for us older gamers love it, and for newer gamers it just sounds cool because of the nostalgia of what they've heard from previous games.
I want an X-wing versus TIE Fighter again.
Oh, I get that, but
yeah,
the issue is when it comes to KOTOR, in order to modernize that game, dude, that's such a monumental task to modernize that game and then have it still be good. You know, because one thing to modernize it, it's another thing for it to be good on top of that. Because they can remaster it, they can rebuild it, air quotes, where it's basically the same game it was, but that shit's not going to sell if it's not modernized. And who the fuck knows what a modernized nice?
What do you mean, Squadrons? Come on, man. What? Come on, there it was. You got it. There's the modernized right there.
Yeah, all I gotta say is if Outlaws doesn't sell well, I blame EA and how they handle Battlefield. I'm sorry. That was a shit show. Battlefront. I'm sorry, Battlefront. Yeah,
Battlefront was dope though, man. It had to play to win though. That killed it.
The loot boxes, man. They got fucking greedy. And Ubisoft's the same way with their games, right? We get all these badass games, and they're like, oh, all the best looking weapons, the best looking armor, $4.99, cocksucker. You want that shit? You gonna pay?
Well, what do you think is going to be the aha mechanic or the gotcha mechanic for Shadows? I'm just curious what you guys think, because they tried to pull a quick one over with Outlaws before the community erupted. Like they were trying to put the DLC, the DLC behind a paywall, the Jabba the Hutt,
well, I think they were saying the Jabba Hutt mission was part of the season pass, but they put one of the missions out earlier or something like that. Is that what they tried to say?
Mission, but it's not the only Jabba mission.
I just hate this idea of they're gonna pre-sell us shit that we don't know what it is, how long it is, but they're gonna try to pre-sell us up front.
Can I say something controversial?
Go ahead.
Just don't buy it. Like I understand people pointing out that they had the price of the game before showing anything, but I just don't buy it. Problem.
I personally am just tired of the mechanic. So for me, my biggest drawback,
paying $130 for early access, which really just means you paid the $130 to play the game day one.
A couple of days.
The new day one, yeah,
but it's not even early access, bro. That's day one, and all the rest of the schmucks they get to play late. That's what it is. It's such bullshit. It's
this you put a name on it and call it early access? What exactly? I think I was listening to a season game in there talking about it. It's like, you just put and then
$130 for a couple of cosmetic things. It's like, so you mean to tell me that the entire fucking game is $70, and then for like a fucking jacket and a fucking shift knob for my spaceship, it's another $70? Like,
I mean,
what don't make any goddamn sense, bro?
I always just say, every time I'm sound like a broken record, I was just like, I'm just not going to buy it. Like, as long as you don't put anything like, oh, you want this one, like the Jabba the Hutt mission, I was like, don't put that behind a paywall. But the skins and stuff, I just can't help but default to don't buy it. Just don't.
That's why I say go with the service, and then if you'll figure out if you like it or not. That's why I said
that's not really any better, KMEGA, because they want us in the service. That's the thing. They want us.
But that's the thing, though. Like, it's what, $16 or something like that.
It's like $18
religiously.
How many Ubisoft games come out a year? Like what? One or two you may want to buy.
There's about like 6 already right now.
Yeah,
plus the old stuff.
It's a monthly subscription. So it's like,
look at that.
This guy. Well, I mean, it's a monthly subscription, so it's like you buy it, you beat it, and then you peace out. That's just how that works.
My biggest thing with Assassin's Creed is this, and this is just my particular take on it, because I
got a patch
with.
I'm sorry.
You actually want to space praxis. You got mission patches.
If it was half the size, it would. If it was half the size, it would cover your penis.
Sir.
I'm just gonna get me a Samsung smartwatch and just get the background and be the Starfield. And there you go. I got my own Starfield watch. I ain't have to buy no special edition.
my watch has Elden Ring in the background, so
I bet.
I have an Elden Ring one.
I had a Zelda one, a Fallout one, and I had a Destiny one. Surprise.
I actually did a Fallout one myself. I did a Fallout background screen for my watch as well.
I wanted the Division watch, and I almost fucking bought it when it came out. And
which one?
Kicked myself.
The Division.
The one that looks just like the one from the game. They actually sold it for a while. I was like, fucking. I can't remember who made it, Citizen or something. It was an expensive motherfucker. It was like $500.
I remember when
Probably
me
Switch.
and my friends we
Swiss
scoured
watch.
with the earth trying to find those fucking cell phones from the Matrix. The fucking ones, the Motorola ones that like fucking that slid up.
That's
Dude,
it.
couldn't
Yeah.
find
Those
Yeah,
badass
we
ones.
wanted them so goddamn bad. We never
Oh,
found them.
dude. No.
Well, let me say this about the Ubisoft game, and this is the biggest problem that I have personally, and it's just the mechanic of it all. Like, I am a type of individual, like when I play open world games, I like the sense of discovery. Just going to a region or area and finding the shit that works or the shit that's there. I don't like that whole mechanic of going to the like a tall tower, scanning all the way around, and then like the game telling you all that.
And that's one play where Ghost of Tsushima really did it better than Assassins was. As you're going through the environment, you'd have a bird or a fox or some type of thing that would guide you toward an area to find something new. Versus Ubisoft's where it's like, bam, here's all these things that we just put on the map for you. Go find them now.
Yeah.
You know, like there's way less sense of discovery when you already know there's something over there.
Exactly, and that's what I think. It's a little bit of what's the word I'm looking for? Anticlimactic in a way, you know, just being told, okay, here in this upper right hand corner, you'll find all this shit. You know,
that's one of the reasons why Elden Ring was so fantastic for me was that you never knew what was around the corner. It could be fucking anything, but you never knew. It was a full sense of exploration.
It was never a good thing.
Entire game.
Turn that corner, you just got a giant gauntlet or stick it to your head. So I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, like technically, we all knew what was around the next corner. Like your next death. That's what was, you know, around the corner.
Pretty much, yes.
All right. Well, let me go ahead. Anyone else have anything to say about shadows?
I do.
And stuff? Go ahead. Go ahead.
I want to talk about representation in video games.
You mean the African American protagonist?
He's not American, sir. Thank you.
He's not African American.
No, he's not.
Well, you know what I'm saying.
Shut the fuck up, Wize. I will kick you out of your own show. That's what I'll do.
I know guys who know guys. That
Don't
can do
you
that.
piss off that rootin' tootin' Texas man, Wize.
Right.
Like,
Honda, Texas is not that far away, Wize. From Alabama.
Exactly.
So
yeah, they do their cousins. We just do their.
Let
our
the
sisters.
man
That's all.
speak. Let the man speak.
Yeah. Well, we take all those Texas women out there from out here in Oklahoma. So yeah, that's why they don't like us. Anyway, go ahead.
Oklahoma, they don't do shit. They just try to dodge tornadoes and shit.
You goddamn right, but we also take women, so don't worry about that. I'm taking a couple of Alabama women.
Y'all aren't taking NBA championships. You might as well take something.
We'll get our national. I mean, we'll get our championship here pretty soon. Don't worry about that. But this is the Young Thunder's coming. Young Thunder's coming, baby. Let's go.
There's a whole lot of people that woke up on the wrong side of the fucking bed this morning. Apparently, you know,
right? With skinnier than mosquitoes in Africa, Chet Holmgren. They're gonna win the championship. Sure.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah. Hold on? Is Africa going to win a championship in our soccer?
Africa, Texas, maybe.
Or Africa, Texas, Wakanda, Texas. What the hell? You know what I'm saying? Is Mozambique going to win it? Is going to win the cup? Yeah,
that's a low blow,
bro.
Tactical foul, yellow card.
That is a low blow.
Don't hit him low because he's playing, you know, what is that? Stellar Chase. So he needs that low part. Don't hit him low, hit him high. He's using his low right about now.
Oh, shit.
All right. Anyways, about representation. So, first off, Wize, it's actually apropos that you brought up African American. Have you guys noticed when a character is French or British or American or Mexican, they never say this character is European. They never say this character is from the American continent. They say that this character is from this specific country. It's only with Africans that it's like,
that is true.
It's an African country. It's an African character. This character is from Africa. As if we are a country.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
The first correction.
Yeah.
The first correction for Praxis and everyone else in the chat, he's not African. No. He is Mozambican. All right? also happens to be the country that I'm from, but that's not the point. That is not the
country
point.
where he's from, not where he's at. He's in Texas. He was.
I like how he fixed his
You already
ties.
got that 130. You got that 130 edition already,
Pride
huh?
in his goddamn eyes.
He said, "Oh, Ubisoft, make your ass a 130, no problem. Sorry, out his wallet."
Come on, listen. I need everyone. Stop referring to him as the African samurai.
Somebody stopped running on the hamster wheels.
Samurai. What? My internet went out.
Yeah, for a split second, he just froze. I was like, "Well, there you go."
All right. Well,
tell them to start running on the hamster wheel
I need
again.
everyone to stop referring stop referring to him as the African samurai. He is the Mozambican.
Hey,
samurai.
Afro Samurai was a good show. All I gotta
God
say.
damn it, Wize. Focus. I need you to focus, Wize.
Stop looking at
I know you have TikTok disease, right? But just focus 5 seconds.
It's got a disease, but it didn't come from TikTok.
Okay.
5 more seconds, Wize. All right.
Yes.
So that's the first part. Mozambican samurai. All right. Second, I absolutely hate everything that the Assassin's Creed franchise has become.
Yeah.
The bloat, the crazy monetization scheme,
The lack of
the
being an assassin.
grindathon nature of the games, the size for the sake of size, and all these the recent Assassin's Creed games, I hate them. I hate everything about these games. That being said,
I knew those.
Pick that shit up, sucker.
that being said, get me off the screen. You get off the screen.
I love it.
I don't see that on my Texas map.
I said I'm going to give this black man his flowers.
That being said, I'm buying this game day one. I don't care. I don't care. I'm fixing to get the ultimate super
200. Yes.
Edition.
The Mozambican Deluxe Edition.
He's got it. Yeah, man.
And I have to be honest with this one of why I'm doing it. I have never in my life played as a Mozambican character.
Well,
that's
there you go.
never happened to me.
Oh yeah.
Not once.
See?
For me, that alone has sold the game to me. And I've told my brothers as well. I told them during the weekend, everyone is in unison that we need to buy this game. All right? So that's me just being honest with everyone. I'm getting this. I hate Assassin's Creed. As soon as I'm done with this game, like the next Assassin's Creed game, fuck off Ubisoft, I'm done. But this one, I am buying the shit out of this game. And I'm being honest about the reasons.
Protagonist.
Right.
Yep. Straight up.
Right.
That's a good accent, Super. I'm happy. I'm happy for you, man.
Well, that's good. I mean, we always talk about we actually before you logged in, we were actually talking about this very topic about this samurai not your traditional Japanese looking samurai. And
you don't say.
And,
what gave it away? What?
And
him being 6'5".
So Super, there you go. You wanted to know who would relate to this.
I also don't know how tall he is.
So there you go. This is probably why. This is I guess we're looking for more inclusiveness.
And I can understand that shit for him. Obviously, when you have a main character that comes from where you're from, that shit's gonna matter to you more than other people.
Yeah.
It's like when you play a racing game and they have your car in the racing game. It's like, oh shit, I can race with my car. I mean, not to the same level, but it's
not the same, but okay.
Right.
I understand like there's something there's a link. Like I get what you're saying, though, but
I got what you're saying.
I'm not saying they're equal, of course. I'm just saying because I don't have the same attachment to where a person's from because I'm a mutt. I'm half Hispanic, half Italian. There's not a whole lot of Hispanic.
No, you're a bitch. But go ahead.
But,
not a mutt. But
so for me, it's racing. It's like, oh shit! If my car is in a racing game, that's the car I pick.
Okay, but just for me, like for instance, in Wize, Are you Native American? Are you Native too?
No, well, I'm from India.
Okay. You're Indian. Okay, so I'm Black and Native American.
Indian.
Not
and so for me, like a game like Prey meant a lot to me. The original Prey.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? To see a Native American being in that game was like, yo, that is what's up. Now to see games
it still hurts me.
yeah.
We're not getting a sequel to that game, dude. I wish we got.
Oh yeah,
we did.
Well,
no, I'm joking.
Yeah, that wasn't a sequel. Yeah, I was so pissed off when they
Dude,
completely just went the other direction
that
with it.
space bounty hunter game, dude. I was so for that.
I was hyped for that. So yeah, I feel local on that, and that's what I think that where my passion is with it as well is that. Listen, I am ready to see the gaming take off to where everybody gets satisfied, but nobody acts like it. Everybody is too busy bitching about this. If you're not interested, avoid it. Move on to the next game. I mean, it's not. Yeah. So I agree. Yeah.
Look, did we? Wize isn't. Where Wize go?
Making them chicky nuggies.
Oh my god! Oh shit! I need to find. He doesn't send out show notes anymore. So whenever this happens,
no, I'm sorry. I'm trying to get my camera back on because the problem was that it was in a situation where yeah, I apologize about that. The problem is that I had to send Loke I was texting with Loke, and then it sort of disconnected my camera, so I don't know what.
So you talking secrets and shit? We all here.
Well,
Loke's
the motherfucker, he got himself booted off of X or some shit like that.
I see how it is.
I sent something on about Temu, the Chinese.
My wife and they're going crazy buying shit from there.
I got
blocked. Not talk about
I had
every day.
I had a high school friend who
going on with my Twitter account now because after I posted that shit, I'm thinking it's probably because of them.
Oh man, they say you said something about
Temu, and they were like, "All right, get his ass, get his ass." He thinks this is America. Oh, you think we sweet? All right, that's what the Chinese said. Anyway.
Okay, so here, let's pivot off of Assassin's Creed for a second. Let's go ahead and talk about. I do want to talk about this small topic that came up. I was watching a podcast, and they brought up an interesting topic, and for Nintendo, and because we cover all platforms here, and we all know that the whole famous thing last week that happened. They said that they're going to talk about the new console, just not right then and there, and not in June. To which they were debating, and they were saying that Nintendo is not a gaming console like PlayStation and Xbox is a gaming console. Like PlayStation and Xbox,
were they? Oh shit! What's that word? Were they part of FTC or whatever?
No. Their point was so. Like for example, PlayStation and Xbox, they are like playing the role of almost like a pseudo PC, where you can play. They're trying to make a console where you can play all games.
Where the Switch is basically Instruments graphic calculator, yes.
Well, they're trying to play all games, and also like to show what the console can do. That's why they have their first-person IPs, or that's the purpose of their first-person IPs. Whereas
every first-person IP though.
Well, not first person, but their IPs that they do have in-house, the first-party IPs. That being said. So their IPs are a means to an end. They're there, they want sales and stuff, but it's more like, okay, this is what the box can do, but you can also play other games on it. Whereas Nintendo's console is more a gateway for their IPs only. So it's like that is their importance, is that not really the hardware, but necessarily just a means of accessing said IP.
What the fuck are we talking about?
That sounds convoluted. What? That's just jumping over hoops. Like I get what they're trying to say in the sense of Microsoft and PlayStation are pushing hardware so they can have, the gaming space and technology be pushed, but they're all in the business to sell games. Like they're all playing games. There's some third parties on Nintendo that are also on Xbox, so not every third party skips them, but that's just jumping through hoops to it's a gateway to their first party. Like it plays other games too. I know
but it's a lot of people. It is not their main focus.
Nintendo fans allowed them to combine their handheld and their console productions.
Yeah, are you saying like you said Sony and PlayStation and Xbox and Microsoft? That's not their main focus. Their console? Is that when you said it's not their main focus? Is that who you're referring to, or are you saying Nintendo's main focus isn't their console. I'm confused. I'm sorry. Oh shit, he left the game. See, I'm over just talking and he just left. But I mean, like I said, it's the same thing that the FTC was trying to say with like they're in the business of high-end consoles, and like, yeah, you can say it's different from that perspective. I'm just like, they all play games. The games that are available are just limited, you know?
Sorry, I'll just jump in real quick. There's a good analogy that I like to use here is if you compare it to cars, Nintendo's like Toyota, PlayStation is like Ferrari, and Microsoft is like Ford. Oh. So there's a good go with me.
Respectful as fuck, David.
Go with me on this. Just go with me on this. Hold on. No.
David, what the fuck is wrong with everybody tonight? They just walk up on.
Go with me.
And Microsoft makes Pintos. That's what David just said.
Continue, David. Please do.
Go ahead, David. Go ahead. We just fucking
take a breath. Go with me on this.
Yeah.
Toyota makes predominantly low cost, low revenue generating, stable bits of kit that just continue on forever, right? And they don't like changing things.
Yes. Right.
That's Nintendo. It's not in the high end. It's not competing for the high end dollars. It's not competing for premium dollars. It's not interested in that. They are not budget level, but they are at the bottom end of the scale, just churning it out at a low cost input and a low revenue outcome to get a good margin. That's what they're good at doing. They enjoy doing that. I say PlayStation's like a Ferrari. They love to charge you for every little thing. It is high cost, high premium dollars. They want to suck every cent out of you if they can.
True. Yeah.
And they will not give you huge volumes of quality product in terms of like their first party output to get it out of you. So they rely on getting the best and the most out of you at that point. And I say Xbox is like Ford because they're at both ends of the scale. They're covering everything. They've got great budget at the bottom end and they've got great stuff at the top end. There's spread across the whole plethora. So for this particular individual to say that, you shouldn't include Nintendo in the console conversation, it's stupid. Of course they're a console. It's the dumbest thing to say. But then to say that, PlayStation and Xbox are only focused on the premium console is also stupid.
But Dave, their business model going forward since post Wii U has been putting their IPs in the forward, whether it's in movies or the Universal Studios situation. So it's like they put their IPs as number one, and their console is just a means to an end.
They're primarily gaming though. Like, I mean, even PlayStation and Microsoft are putting their IPs out into other mediums now. So it's like I again, since Nintendo that's their primary thing is selling consoles, where PlayStation is under Sony that does their own things, the same with Microsoft and Xbox. But at the end of the day, like, let's not overcomplicate. They're all selling consoles.
They're
Nintendo.
Their IP. Congratulations, they all are. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah,
and they're being hypocritical as well because they're trying to it seems to me like they're trying to tell their fan base, don't expect too much for this next console that will drop, but we will still charge you just like PlayStation and Xbox will when their games drop.
It sounds like backhanded compliment is what it's
right. Yeah, we'll still give you quality.
They're also used to selling Switches at $300 when a PS4 digital is $400, right? And they're not even close to being comparable machines, but they're selling like crazy. They're the number 2 best selling console of all time right now, the Switch, correct?
Yeah. It's going to take another spot from
Nintendo's up there, sitting up there in the office room right now saying, you can't tell me shit, motherfuckers. Tell me what. Number 2 of all time. You're going to tell me what?
Yeah. And the other thing to be mindful of as well is Nintendo's best-selling consoles have always been mobile handheld ones. Anything that's tethered to a TV, even the N64, as great as that thing was, got absolutely pumped by the PS1, and it never did any good. But you look, the Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Color, the DS, and anything that you can pick up and move, that those things sell, and they sell like crazy. And they'd be mad to move away from a formula that works because there's no reason to change. The Switch has sold that many, you just pointed out. Why wouldn't they just do an upgrade that gets them near enough to continue on with what they're doing? And there's no point trying to compete with, like, it's very clear there's no point trying to compete with PlayStation while they're at the top of their game because they'll just belt you up. If they can't beat you with the quality of the game that they're putting out from their first parties, they'll go and make it impossible for you to do that with a third party. And unfortunately, Xbox has suffered that in this go around since 2020. But that doesn't mean that it's, not. There's options there for us. So
they're not going to have GTA 6 on any Nintendo console. And guess what? Nintendo doesn't.
No.
They can. No, look, hang on. Wait. I got a good one here. They could try it, but it would probably sound like more of a fighter jet than the PS4 did trying to run GTA 5.
I honestly wish we can go back to the days where Nintendo tried to be one of the leading in the market space when it comes to pushing the technology forward, but we're not going to get that.
No, they don't. They just don't have the money and they don't have the drive. I mean, if you can make the margins they're making doing such, hands-off job, like there's no way they would ever do that again. But, they want to leave it 6. They've said that there's information coming and we've got to wait, 6 to 9 months to get it. Mm-hmm. I would not be expecting much coming out of their stables and their main partners in the next 6 to 9 months.
And it's crazy. IGN ran a poll on what the most desired next generation feature for a Switch 2 is. And out of all the options, the one that the one that won the overwhelming majority was backwards compatibility. That was above 4K, above anything else.
I mean,
all people want is the Switch 2 to be backwards compatible.
Yeah.
Well, it can be. It might cost you though.
Bare minimum.
I mean, you say that, but given the last few generations with Xbox and PlayStation, how they had to figure out their backwards compatibility situation, I'm not surprised people saying, "Hey, make sure back compatible."
Right, but with them, Triple, we're also having these generational leaps between consoles that we're not really getting with Nintendo anymore. It's the same shit, generation to generation. For the most part, just with a higher resolution.
No, I get you, but I'm just like, business is what business. I'm sure they can make it work, but it's like, we can probably get some extra money.
They'll figure out a way of making money.
I'm just saying, imagine that Nintendo looking at the data and knowing that the most desired feature for their next gen console is just that it plays the games that the current console can currently fucking play. Like, come on, dude.
There's an interesting hurdle that PlayStation and Xbox kind of climbed over. Xbox climbed over it the best. But they had a system in place already to do it from the Xbox One. The PlayStation's found a way to make it hurt your wallet to do it, but they, begrudgingly came along with the party. But Nintendo's got an interesting point here because they don't have a huge amount of digital sales; they have a huge amount of physical sales. So if they do backwards compatibility, they need to figure out a way of either reading these old Switch cartridges in the new system, which we don't know does or does not have the same or different cartridge. True. So they need to either put the hardware in the system to do that, or they've got to find a way of you being able to register your physical games to get a digital version of it when you upgrade to the next Switch. So both of those things are going to be a pain in the ass to administrate and a pain in the ass to deploy. So I would not be surprised if you don't get full backwards compat with the next system, because it'll mean you'll pay for it one way or the other.
And they're famous for that. Like as it is, the rumors were this week that they have a Breath of the Wild variation for the Switch 2 in kernel development. Of course they
cute games on the Wii.
I mean, like and famously so.
You
like,
want the Wii Master?
But it's like the reason that the topic came up is this. Like for what we know, and this is just from the rumor mills, and basically, this is what we go off of. So there is a PlayStation 5 Pro. We are presuming it's coming out sometime this year, and like they're going to go ahead and put it out, and with the hopes of, and what most people believe is that the reason behind it is they want the GTA 6 sales, because they can then go on TV and say, or whatever, advertising, this is the best place to play GTA 6. even though the game is still a year out. Whereas Nintendo, basically they were supposed to come out this year, but they delayed it internally because of, according to what we know, because the games weren't ready. And that's what they were saying, that if Microsoft and PlayStation seem to not have any problems releasing a console without game support or a major IP launch, whereas Nintendo does not want to seem to do that unless they have an IP to back it up.
Makes sense given the fact that Microsoft and PlayStation, they just lean on third-party support because their platforms can play that, whereas Nintendo, like,
they've got it, but it's limited.
Yeah, I mean, like, but exactly that, like, unless the next big third party is going to be there, you probably aren't picking up a Switch. I mean, unless you're diehard Nintendo.
Like, there's so many third-party games all throughout the year that just aren't going to run on a fucking Nintendo Switch. Like an Apple Watch is going to run more of those games than a Switch is. So
there's some interesting stuff just on that. Like you say, they've got limit. Well, there's not a huge amount of third party would be there. It would be limited, but it would be limited to whatever Square and Capcom and those sort of publishing houses can pump out. But looking at their forecasts and their changes, like with Square saying, we're going to go more multi-platform and we're going to put games everywhere, that's going to slow down the quantity that they're going to be able to output, particularly if they're not doing exclusives for the Switch anymore. So that's another thing Nintendo's going to have to contend with. The strategy of others, they're going to have to breach into their back pocket and pull out a couple of big checks to say, hey, can you do 2 or 3 games? Square, can you get 2 or 3 games out of here to put on our catalogue? And if they go, no, we're going to put them everywhere, well, then they're fucked, aren't they?
Well, I think actually Square, of all people bringing that up, is probably going to be more along the lines of working with Nintendo than the amount of losses that they've had from the Western type games that they've put out. I mean, because of the losses that they've been incurring, Nintendo has actually been a little more tried and true in making money. So it might actually be more inclined.
It would be interesting, and it would be interesting to see what they use as a launch title. So if they have, an updated version of Zelda, that's great. But if they launch the console with, here's the new Pokemon game, and here's a new Xenoblade or something similar game, and here's a new what's the other one they have a shitload of?
Animal Crossing.
Animal Crossing or something like that. Then they won't have problems selling it if they've got one of those sort of games in there. Especially if it's a new Pokemon game is only playable on the new device, because that'll sell like fucking crazy.
They're easy games to develop.
They've been talking about working on the next Mario Kart and Smash Brothers. I'm pretty sure they've got
been years.
I don't know. Smash Brothers is in.
You were saying, go ahead, KMEGA.
No, I was just saying Smash Brothers is in some peril because the main guy that worked on Smash Brothers doesn't want to do it anymore, and Nintendo is trying to find a successor. But the guy, it's a guy and it's a husband and wife team that's worked on that game, and he does not. If those people that is supposed to be his successor isn't coming out to make the game to his satisfaction, it's not coming out. Like, I think he's still got ownership
over it.
Yeah, and so so they're in some peril right there. So we don't know if who's going to say next.
Nintendo's going to make that happen at some point. But you may be right. That may be putting that off a bit then.
But they're in peril anyways because they are coming out. When they went to the Switch, it was a new form factor, and they were able to merge both their console and their handheld division. And they had a bunch of games from the Wii U era that they could have ported because nobody bought that freaking console, so they could take all the games there. Now they're going into a genre or into a version of this console that now they don't have that back catalog to rely on anymore, that they can just easily tweak up a little bit and put on, release it on their Switch.
Who are you kidding, bro? They'll just release the fucking Zelda Breath of the Wild Tears of the Kingdom collection at 1080p. 1080p.
No, 1080p.
And sell
given people buying the all the other remasters that, well, some of the director's cuts that PlayStation put out, and other games are doing director's cuts and special editions.
They'll do that, but this is where I do believe, and I've said this, but I got to give Hip Hop Gamer some props on this, because this is where I first heard it from, and I know Hip Hop Gamer don't get a lot of love for some reason, but. I do feel that Nintendo is going to go the route and put some games on PC. Not everything, of course, but they will put some of their games on PC, because they're asking for $70 games. It's what you just said, Darth, which made so much sense, is that they are having in Wize, is that those catalogs, they can just resell some of those games like Zelda and Mario Kart and Mario, but they can't do that with something else that like Three Kingdoms. They can try, but they're not going to make that type of the same money off like they would.
That KMEGA, but this is also the same Nintendo that sold people fucking cardboard.
I know that, but consumers are a little bit more tentative now.
I think,
and I think it's an approach. I think that
especially with Nintendo being a brand that's definitely geared towards younger gamers and younger individuals. I see whatever they do.
Nintendo games would rake on PC, just like they rake on PlayStation games.
I'm sure they would. I just don't see Nintendo going there right off the bat. I see them trying what they do now, and if it doesn't work for them, or they're not getting the numbers, then maybe they go the PC route. But I don't see that being.
The main thing is Nintendo is super protective of their IPs, and if they're going to put it on PC, they cannot control the quality of that IP on PC.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Nintendo are looking at what PlayStation is doing very, very carefully.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's looking at the sales numbers of Nintendo IP versus PlayStation. Like PlayStation wish they had Nintendo numbers, so I wouldn't be surprised. Never put it past them to say, "Hey, we will eventually," but they're not in a position to like, damn, Mario hardly sold anything this time around. We should probably not. They're chilling. I mean, it's an eventual thing because of the way the industry is going, but I don't right now.
Well, it's easy. It's easy for them though, because Nintendo and PlayStation, like for all metaphoric purposes, they're just down the road from each other, right? So why would you, as Nintendo, who's got a really good margin, everything's in rude health and everything's charging along well, why wouldn't you just look over at them and say, well, how are you guys going with doing what we're thinking about? They did the same thing with Sony. PlayStation takes their IP to TV and movie and all that sort of stuff, and Nintendo looks at it and goes, fuck, that did all right. Well, why don't we try that with a couple of them? And so far, it seems to be doing well. Mario movie did absolutely gangbusters, and they've got a couple of other things coming. The Zelda show is going to be interesting, and then we've got Sony to do it for them. So if you don't need to take the risk and you're pretty certain that even half of what your competitor has done is going to get you an increase, well, just fucking sit back and let them take the risk.
It was funny that people were asking, is the next Nintendo console going to be the same form factor as the Switch? And my thought is that I think Nintendo has sort of painted themselves in a corner, right? Because they are so dependent upon their portable market. Now that they've merged the two, it's really hard for me to imagine them going back to another form factor that precludes the portable market again. So I think for the foreseeable future, they're sort of stuck with this form factor, whether for better or worse, whether they like it or not. So
what gets them the best out of that is being able to dock it and then do multiplayer. That's where most of their the games that are played docked the most are either the multiplayers like Mario Kart, Smash Bros, Mario Party, all of those sort of ones. Or they're the big, long, where you need the bigger screen to see the stuff like Xenoblade Chronicles and Zelda and those ones. Everything else is just pick it up and as we go. Pokemon was 95% of Pokemon's played on handheld.
Well, and then Animal Crossing was like,
it
was a huge amount handheld. Yeah.
That thing is a fucking gold mine. Sorry, guys, I got to head off.
No. Two quick questions before you leave. Number one, and I hate to ask you both of these back to back, but I know you're leaving. But I just want to get your take on this before you leave. Two things, quickly. Number one, what is your prediction as to the number of lifetime unit sales for the Switch 2? And number two, the whole shit show with Square Enix now going multi-platform, that they finally come to the realization that, hey, maybe we would make more money if we put it on other consoles.
So I guess the first one about the Switch lifetime units, they'll probably do another 8 to 10 million between now and when the 2 launches, just to clear out whatever stock's left there. So probably around Christmas time, we'll see some pretty heavy discounting to get it off the shelf.
So you think it's going to surpass the DS lifetime sales? And do you think it's going to become the #1, the best-selling console of all time? Is it going to supplant the PlayStation 2?
Oh, I want to say yes, but it will be very difficult if we have a very big downturn in the economic environment between now and January, which currently isn't in the forecast, but yeah. You never know what's going to happen when we get to election time at the end of the year.
Right.
True.
But so that's that piece.
Market saturation.
Yeah. There's the Switch gets the new ones coming in at the bottom end with the kids coming on. So there's always that next year there'll be more kids coming in, but they never leave the ecosystem. So those that have been in with Nintendo for, I had a Game Boy when I was a kid, and I've always had a Nintendo console. I've always had a PlayStation console since the PS1s came out, because of different demographics and different games, and I enjoy different things in that manner. But the Switch 2 will pop out, and my son will get one, and then my wife will probably get one, and then most of my nieces and nephews will get them, because even though they're turning 18, 19, 20, they're used to having that comfort there, and they're interested in the next thing. So is the Switch going to be the best-selling console? I'll go bloody close. Again, it depends on engagements and all the rest of it. But to the second question around Square Enix, I don't know why people are making such a big deal out of something that was already very widely known, but I also don't understand why they seem to think that this is a massive change. You look at it should be more of a focus on Square Enix saying we're going to reduce the number of games we're going to output, and we're going to focus on quality, not quantity. Because the can't remember the exact number now. I haven't got it in front of me. There's something like 70 or 80% of the games that they launched last year were multi-platform across all platforms, and there was less than 10 that were Switch exclusives, and less than 10 that were PlayStation exclusives. And the Switch exclusives and the PlayStation exclusives all performed well. It was the MMO, the PC, and the mobile games that dragged the whole segment down.
But I thought 14 was doing well.
14 isn't doing as well as it should be.
Oh.
And that's the issue. You look at something in isolation, the sales numbers are great, but the revenue it's generating isn't that flash. And it's MMO, so 14 and 11, but there's more than just those 2 MMO games that Square's running. So you get things like the Foam Stars and a couple of other that they've launched that haven't really landed. So they all cost money, and they all get written off the expenditure gets written in when things happen. But if you're looking at these things and going, well, where's the problem? The problem is in the quantity that they've been out putting up, that they're multi-platform across too many places in a saturated gaming market. So this whole notion of, they're going multi-platform because they don't want the money. Well, no, they want the fucking money. But if they're going to get the money from Nintendo and get the money from PlayStation, and Xbox isn't prepared to stump up that kind of cash to ensure the game, well, I don't think things are going to change too much in that respect. I think you're just going to find that they're not going to be putting out so much shit at the bottom end. And they're going to refocus in that structural change they're going to do. They'll refocus into, well, unless we get a bundle of cash and someone pays us to make this game like PlayStation did with Final Fantasy 16, we're just not going to make it unless there's a market for it. Does that mean that the exclusives are dead? No. Does it mean that every game's going to be everywhere? Probably, unless someone's going to stump up the cash to build it. And that's what they've been doing for the last 7 or 8 years. So, yeah, journalists, mate, you can't trust them.
Well, thank you, Dave. I know you said you have to log out. Can you tell us where we can find you and everything before you leave?
You can find me standing in my kitchen at the moment, looking at the coffee machine, thinking if cup number 4 is worth making now or later.
Caught him at the bar at the Outback Steakhouse.
We just call it steakhouse, and we don't have to worry about Outback bullshit.
You son of a bitch,
Dave. You got to try a crocodile one day. It's beautiful. It's amazing. So you can find me on Twitter at Forky87, or you can find me scumming around on a few different podcasts. Occasionally I'll be on this one when time permits, but otherwise, yeah. Have a good day. Great to chat to you guys. Enjoyed the conversation, actually. I like it when a show just takes a natural progression.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's awesome.
Yeah, I did have to do a lot of transitioning because it sort of flew from one thing to the other. That's good. Yeah.
Translation:
Yeah.
Wize didn't do nothing and just let us control everything.
Have a good
Well,
one,
thank you, Dave, for showing up, man. I mean, it's always an honor and a pleasure to have you on, dude. And
no worries. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
No, excellent. Thanks for having me. And when you get to Saturday, enjoy it.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Fair dinkum,
See ya.
sir. Fair dinkum.
So let me go to you, KMEGA, about this whole thing with the Square Enix. So basically they came out to say now they're going to minimize the amount of exclusivities here, and it seemed like common sense to me. Like, okay, because see, from the day one, I've always been a Square fan. I was a Square fan before even they were Square Enix. But I've always felt that their games were very, very niche. Like they only cater to like a certain subset of the gaming population. Well, if your game is that niche, then what motivation do you have for keeping it on one specific platform, irrespective of the fact that that platform might have the most selling consoles on there? So, yeah, what is your take on this whole situation?
Well, I disagree somewhat with what the person that just left, David, just left on some things, because he was basically, and I agree with the fact of just saying like it's just too much. They're just kind of throwing everything in the kitchen sink, but I feel like they're having to throw everything in the kitchen sink is because they're not getting what they were projecting to get from the exclusives deals that they made previous with Sony or Nintendo or whatever. So so there is something there. You can't say in 1 minute is like, well, we're just going to blame it on the phones and everything else, and then you did get the bag from Sony, and then they all perform. None of those games that were exclusive beat Final Fantasy 15, which was the last multiplat. I mean, let's just keep it real. And matter of fact, so much so you could have it just failed so much so that a game that I really liked, I thought Forspoken was a really, really, really fun game. And it would benefit by being a multi-plat because people would give it an opportunity. It's just happening all over the place. Like I was saying earlier, like people are just not feeling committed enough to wanting to spend $70 for a game these days. And unless it's something that they're familiar with. Now you would think that they would do that with Rebirth, but from everybody that I've heard that's played Rebirth, it's just not living up to the expectations that they thought it was going to be. Now, I haven't played it, so I can't say anything. Final Fantasy 16, a lot of people enjoyed Final Fantasy 16. Still, nothing since remake has sold up to remake. And then, like I said, remake it hasn't caught up to Final Fantasy 15. So there is something there, especially when Sony gave the bag. And when Sony is saying, no, we can't give you no more of the bag for any more exclusives, then what Square's left to do? So I think, like I said, I agree with some parts of what he's saying. With the problem with the mobile, and then like maybe Final Fantasy 14 online is not doing as well. But it also contributes to the fact that the expectations were not met. And then when you have that, then you have this combination of all this. So, but yeah, no, he's right. I mean, I've been a SquareSoft fan from the get too. Once I first started playing games like Tabal, and because I'm a big fan of fighters and stuff like that. So, and Square Enix always made really, really cool, different, unique type of fighters. And then I jumped into the JRPGs, but they do have a quality problem. Like, I mean, and Xbox gamers got to step it up if these games will start coming over there. We can't keep bitching and complaining that we need them and then we don't support them.
Yeah, that's a big problem.
You know, and saying so, and then, but I mean, because you know, listen, when Forspoken drops on Xbox, you know, that might not make it. I would hope so. I'm going to promote the hell out of it. But when Final Fantasy 16 comes, come on, man. Y'all said, you know, y'all said y'all wanted it. Y'all need to get it.
The big thing is that all these companies, man, they need to fucking fire their predictors, right? How many times have we seen with these companies where they're profitable or the product they've made has turned a profit, it's made money, but it didn't meet the expectations. Right. No, so now they've had to lay off 100 fucking people or 1,000 people. And it's like, why? Right. Because that fucking guy guessed wrong. You guys still made money. Why are we not rolling this shit?
But you see, the thing is
this
is where I believe Nintendo really controls it, because they know their audience perfectly. Right. And they know going into a game, and I said this last night actually on KY Bob's show last night, Nintendo knows how many units they're going to sell approximately, and they don't go in and invest an ungodly amount of money in a game.
Though, Wize, because when you have a console who doesn't get any of the Call of Duties, doesn't get all these major third-party IP, whenever Nintendo releases anything, they're like, "Oh, thank you, Nintendo. Thank you for giving us something to fucking play on the console that you made." They don't get all that.
But they make a game that is very competently good. That's the thing, you know. Yeah. At least it good for their audience.
For the most part, no matter what Nintendo makes, they're going to get all these people that adopt it and purchase it, because that platform doesn't have access to all the major third-party games that an Xbox or a PlayStation does. So if you are a Nintendo gamer, you're sitting there waiting for the next major Nintendo game. And when it comes, guess what? You buy it.
You buy it, right?
Yeah, you buy it. And they buy their games. They buy their games irrespective of the price.
But if
Nintendo hardware had the same access to all the games that Xbox and PlayStation does, I don't think we'd see the same adoption rate for their first-party games that you currently see.
I don't know. Nintendo fans are a different level of loyal.
It would for sure still be much higher than Xbox or PlayStation gets. I'm not trying to dispute that at all. I'm just saying I don't think it'd quite be where it is, because those gamers have access to a whole plethora of additional games that they currently don't have right now.
Look, true. And console, and well, I was just gonna say, because I have to get out of here in a few minutes. Xbox and PlayStation gamers are just different gamers than Nintendo gamers. That's yes. And like you were saying, I agree with you 100% that the people the people from Xbox and from PlayStation need to know their audience better, because you know, from you let Foam Stars happen, but yet you close studios down for other games that has other potential, like the Spider-Man MMO that looked amazing. Like, holy shit, that yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Like, it just and Xbox does the same thing. So that's why I feel that it is a double-edged sword. But Square has to get on, and this is where I agree with David 100%. Square has to get back on a quality control situation to where maybe they now need to put so many games out at one time and just take the time to put out certain amount of games, maybe about 4 or 5 a year instead of maybe three, you know, at 12, 13, 20 in a year. So that's
like who greenlit Foam Stars? Fire that motherfucker right the fuck down.
Well, I mean, Foam Stars, you know, I'm not mad about them trying to do that.
Whatever the budget for that game was, though, KMEGA, that game was never going to be successful.
No.
And the thing is, whatever they spent on that is part of the equation to them saying, fuck, we didn't meet our projections. It's because of games like Foam Stars that they're not hitting their projections, man. So like,
but as gamers we do want. But I know that. But as gamers we do want variety. We don't want to be stuck in a complacent state where gaming is only only going to be Call of Duty, Maddens, and 2Ks.
We want everything and nothing at the same time.
Right.
And it's hard for these companies to know exactly what we want. Because we want everything and nothing.
No, but we want what we want. But nobody on this panel or nobody watching this on the rerun or anybody in the chat looked at Foam Stars when it was announced and said, "Oh my God, I've been waiting to play a game just like that." Okay, people are like, mostly everyone who saw that. The one question was, "Why the fuck does this even exist?"
That should have. They should have maybe shadow dropped that shit.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like it's kind of like that game Bleeding Edge. Like, why in the fuck does that game even exist?
Watch your mouth about my Bleeding Edge.
The difference there was that Bleeding Edge was shelved and mostly done already, so they just picked up a project that was already in the works and said, "Fuck it, finish it, and we can launch it." Foam Stars was something that they had to start. They had to find. That's the hardest part is starting these goddamn projects. Like, man.
So you're saying they did it on purpose?
Yeah, they did all this shit on purpose.
They lost money on purpose, That's not smart.
No, they looked at Nintendo and they said, "Oh, we can make a fucking Splatoon as well."
You can't. Square. So okay, let's Square make a fucking platformer as successful as a Mario game or an open world game that's successful as Breath of the Wild. Like Square Enix shouldn't be looking at anything Nintendo does or PlayStation.
Square, get back into making fucking fighters again. Give me another ball.
Just do your own fucking
I
thing.
want another Einheimer.
Final Fantasy is great, but Final Fantasy does not have the same pull that it had in the goddamn 90s. Neither does fucking Kingdom Hearts. Work on some new fucking IP, some new, innovative shit. That's not the same shit you've been making since the goddamn 90s, bro.
Yeah. I gotta go. This is a great discussion, but I gotta get ready to do my podcast here in about.
Yeah, KMEGA, thank you for showing up. We've been going back and forth on Twitter. Trying to get you on, and it's been an honor and pleasure to have you on. And
I appreciate it.
Did not disappoint. We really love having you on, and our door is always open. If you ever want to come on again, just let me know, and it would be a pleasure. Hopefully, you had fun. I mean, the motif of the show is like a bunch of guys and gals just getting together on a Friday night, drinking, having fun, and shooting the shit. And hopefully we.
I'll definitely come back. Y'all didn't scare me off, so nothing like that. You have to do some real wild shit for me to be like, nah, man, I ain't coming back to that. That's different. No, but it was a pleasure, man. Good to talk to Supernova. I knew that we was going to get into something that was going to get a great discussion and Triple. Sure, you know what I'm saying? Triple, man. Good talking to you. Get to see you, man. This is my first time ever seeing you. So yeah, what's happening with you, man? And then Darth, I'll see you later, sucker. And then Loke, you stay away.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
no, much love and love, man.
Because I will fucking show up.
You know what? Once I move over to get off of Discord and then go to you can show up as many times you want to, because I'll have the camera thing will be fixed. So I'm pretty mad at get that shit.
And Loke is the darkest one here, man. You better watch the goddamn shadows.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Anyway,
he's a samurai. Yeah.
Yeah. That's why he's that man. You better watch out. He's a samurai. He might that might be his
Samurai
late
Loke,
uncle or some shit.
The Cartoon Network, bro. Samurai Loke.
You don't know he actually built an animus and actually played that guy in real life,
Yeah. So anyway, all right, gentlemen, it was real good, man. Talking to you. Thanks,
right,
Chad.
Take care, man.
Love, man. Everybody have a good one, man. Peace.
Great. Thanks, sir. Yep. All right, so let me go ahead and pivot. Let's move off of the whole. Oh, by the way, look, I want to get your word on it because Square Enix is one of your favorite developers, is it not? So I would like to hear your take on this whole about face with Square. Like, maybe we need to put our games on other platforms.
It's my favorite. What?
You caught on last late on.
Cells, what's up, darling?
I was about to ask where she was, bro. That's crazy.
Go ahead. Cells, you're muted, by the way.
Cells.
Oh, hey. It's
hit and miss.
I couldn't give two wet farts in a tornado about Square Enix. Like a Final Fantasy remake. This is the first time I'm playing Final Fantasy, like to finish it in my entire life. So this is a whatever burger for me.
But what do you think about their epiphany that maybe we should put our niche games on other platforms and not just keep it exclusive?
I think they hired someone with the room temperature intelligence. That's pretty much it, Someone with like two neurons to rub together. They put him in charge and he was like, wait a minute. Why are we doing this dumb thing? Let's stop doing the dumb thing.
Neuron and a half.
They hired somebody with some common sense, basically. That's what you're saying.
Pretty much. So I don't see why this is something we should be like, this is mind-blowing, mind-blasting. like Russell Pizza says, this is nothing. This is really nothing in my opinion. Mind blasting.
To think third-party developer putting games on more places is going to be beneficial to them. Holy fuck.
What are the concept? Yeah.
Who'd have thunk it?
Cells, darling, how you doing? Can you hear me? Apparently not. No. Anyways. Cells, just chime in when you get a chance. I don't know what's going on, but yeah, chime in when you get a chance. All right. Anyhow, let me go ahead and move on to the next thing. Elsewhere is the new development house by Activision.
Activision.
And it's not a new one. It was apparently a smaller development house within Activision that they started a couple of years ago that has now sort of grown. And famously so, they put a tweet out saying, yeah, they are developers from games such as The Last of Us and all this other crap.
We've heard this before.
But what did they do, Wize, right? Oh, yeah, we have one developer who changed the trash at Naughty Dog when they were making The Last of Us, so we got people
all I gotta say
on our team.
is
Like, who are these people?
The initiative. That's
what I was thinking,
like,
too.
oh my gosh, they're getting
what the fuck
Sony's Santa Monica's and the Naughty Dogs to work on Microsoft next game with the initiative, and yeah.
Well, here the two games that were famously absent in the development house of that team is Hi-Fi Rush and Redfall. Yeah, so they fired all of these people just to have another development house that grows. So yeah, did not age well.
It aged poorly. It's just like Sarah Bond's tweet about celebrating or whatever for Hi-Fi Rush, and then she had to delete it because I'm just like, I know this is the Activision Blizzard side of things with Microsoft and Activision. You know, they're functioning on their own. It's not like, you know, Microsoft came in and decided everything for them, but it's just a terrible look when you have things like, you know, our teams are spread through too thin. You know, we're spread like peanut butter, and you know, we want to focus on our resources on particular games that are like already in the process. And you're like, by the way, we got a new studio, guys. So just like,
yeah,
it's and the thing is, all these studios and games in general, with everything, entertainment, movies, video games, you pick it. These things are collective products, right? They're not a product of one individual. So when they say, "Oh, we got this new
unless it's a Kojima game
or studio," yeah, you got this one studio that's made up of all these people from this studio and that studio, and they name all these big.
Hideo Kojima makes games by himself.
This must be an amazing thing because it's got all these people from all these places, but that doesn't mean anything, dude. Mm-hmm. It really doesn't. And we see this all the fucking time. They're like, oh, we got this new studio that was developed from all these people that came from the developers of Call of Duty. And then these studios here. And then what did they make? Nothing.
Wasn't it with, what's the studio that PlayStation was partnering with and they closed down? Were they like
Aviation?
Yeah, weren't they ex-cut?
They're all ex-Activision developers. But what did they do at Activision? Like ex-Activision developer doesn't mean anything. Did they? Did they do the fucking
screens? They were.
Oh no, you don't. They did the ray trace reflections of the side of the Glocks. Like, cool story, bro.
It was a guy that had that dog fur in the Ghost Reveal trailer.
They were the guys who made the coffee in the morning, basically. Yeah, there you go. Cells, are you back, darling?
She's still on the mute.
She's still on mute. I don't know what happened.
Oh, she beats out. I'm tired of this dude asking me questions, man. Get the fuck out of here.
Fuck your couch.
She's like, I'm going to talk when I want to, good and well ready. You ain't going to make me do this on spot. Anyhow.
Oh my God.
So here's the thing. And a lot of people are complaining about this. And I also said this last night. I think that Microsoft is now looking, and I'm not saying Xbox, I'm saying Microsoft. I think they're now wanting to put out games that are more in the gaming zeitgeist. Like, yeah, Hi-Fi Rush is a good game. Redfall is a good game, but it doesn't have the name
Redfall
penetration.
Is a good game.
Well, now it is decently game. Yeah.
No.
Well, I'm being nice. I'm not gonna. These poor people lost their fucking job, dude. Come on now.
The frame rate of a shit mediocre game is just a shit mediocre game with a better frame rate.
Okay, well, whatever it is, I think they're looking for games that have a more of a name, if you will. So, like for example, a Hi-Fi Rush is not going to sell consoles, neither is a Redfall. But if you have a new COD, or if you have a new Doom, or if you have something,
they're at a place.
Hold on. I disagree. I would posit that a lot of people bought PlayStation 5s because of Stellar Blade.
No, of course not.
I think that happened.
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious.
I love the yams, but I don't think people went out and bought fucking $500 consoles or $400 consoles.
I do.
What type of evidence do you have to say something like that, though?
Well, based off of the fact that
most of what we do here is off the cuff. If we're being 100%.
Yep.
All right.
Right.
So we can't.
What I think he's gonna say.
You can't chuck that at me whenever it's convenient.
Said, how dare you demand fucking data?
So I think the theory goes is that there's a study or something like that.
We're going to have to present data for everything.
Yeah, there was a story.
That's going to be
I got you, Loke. I got you. Remember, they did like a study or something with Pornhub where it's like, the PlayStation users are our primary users on the platform. So there you go. So they saw the Stellar Blade, and it's like, well, I mean, Stellar Yams only on PlayStation. There you go. That's your stats right there. That's your background.
I've never met a person in my personal life that used the console to fucking watch Pornhub. I don't know who the fuck these people are, honestly.
They're kids logging into their dad's account is what it is. I'll tell you that. Hey guys,
these kids have tablets, phones.
Hi, Praxis.
I know. I got a jam. I'm so sorry, guys.
Yeah.
Oh, you're good. You're good.
All right, go. Tell us where you can find it.
It's gonna be Twitter, I suppose, at Praxis Darth, and here every Friday. Just as long as it's Friday and not Thursday. God damn it.
I apologize. I had to take my kid to the airport. I apologize.
I know, and I apologize. I had plans. If I didn't have plans, I'd have been here. So.
Don't you apologize for this cocksucker changing the
I'm going to do what I goddamn well. No. That's fine. You guys have
I'll
a good
be
night.
nice if I want you son of a bitch. Oh, wait.
Fuck you, man. You guys on that note, have a great night.
All right, later, man.
See you, Lo. See you guys.
Cheers,
all right, thank you. No, but yeah, I mean, it's. I don't know how many. Maybe 100 people may have bought the console for that game.
The thing was, is at the end of the day, what IP, what game could Xbox possibly develop that's going to sell a bunch of Xbox consoles? Tell me which one it is.
Fable.
No.
I disagree, guys. The reason why I disagree with this, the angle that we're taking with this, is that people already have built up libraries, like what Phil and Jim Ryan both said, right?
Yeah.
So the only way to move people is not one Hi-Fi Rush. It's not one Stellar Blade. It's a collection of just banger after banger after banger after banger. To you whittle the person down. The person is now like, damn, I'm on Xbox. I've missed out on Grand Blue Fantasy this year. I've missed out on Stellar Yams. I'm going to miss out on whatever else is coming out. You know what I mean? And that's what is going to get people to be like, you know what? Let me get another console, even though I already have 400 games on Xbox. It's not going to be the next Halo. They suddenly fix it and it's now a fabulous game. Yeah, it's one game. Now you have to sell.
It's just like with the MCU.
Catalog.
Like right now, MCU, no one gives a shit about it. But Deadpool and Wolverine, everyone's hyped about that, and that's probably going to be a $2 billion movie. But if the next movie that comes out, is not on the same level, the MCU is just going to die and go right back to where it is right
even
now.
If it is, even if it is
ride
great,
the wave of Deadpool and Wolverine.
Even if it is great, the only reason we're interested in Deadpool is because of the catalog that Deadpool has given us in the past. So what's going to happen is, even if the next Marvel movie after Deadpool is pretty great, what's going to happen is most of us aren't going to buy it. We're going to find out. We're not going to watch it as soon as it comes out. We're going to find out from like crazy guys that are obsessed with going to watch these things. What we're going to do is say, oh, Marvel, oh, this is going to be shit. No, thank you. And then we'll find out a week later, 2 weeks later, oh, okay, this is good.
Like No Way Home, I've seen every MCU movie at least the week of release. in the movie theaters. Every single one since the first Iron Man. That stopped with No Way Home. After No Way Home, I just didn't give a fuck. Like Ant-Man Quantumania, I watched that shit on Disney Plus. Same thing with Miss Marvel. I will be in the movie theaters for Deadpool and Wolverine, but I probably will not be there for the next Captain America. I just don't care about the MCU the way I used to pre-Endgame.
I lost all hope when my son, my 12-year-old son, that eats all of this shit up, when we went to watch The Immortals, and he was like, Dad, can we leave the cinema? We didn't even finish. He was like, can we go? I want to go and play. He was like, I want to go play Minecraft. I was like, what?
This movie had Angelina Jolie and Salma Hayek in the same movie.
And they still weren't able to
And I don't care. That's how you know they fucked up.
Yeah.
And I mean, even the same thing with Shang-Chi. I actually like the comics with Shang-Chi and the Seven Rings and all that other stuff. But it's just the movie was so like, what the fuck? You know, it's like it was like then they set up the father to be the main antagonist, and then there was a fucking dragon, and I'm like, where the fuck is this shit going? You know?
Dude, my 12-year-old was like, Dad, why didn't they stop at Endgame?
Yeah. Because we don't have an idea like what they're fucking doing. Like, you know, you sit there and watch this shit. You know,
I'm trying to make
all the rumors is they're pretty much trying to bring us back to pre-Endgame. They're bringing back all the old people. They're going to bring back fucking Chris Evans and Robert Downey Jr. It's like, if you have to bring back these people to make us give a shit about your fucking franchise, and your franchise is failing, ladies and gentlemen.
What they should have done is they should have pivoted from Endgame into introducing the X-Men, which is like sort of what would have been the next thing.
But Fox, I think the acquisition had just barely gone through, right? So,
dude, even if they had left us with no movies for 5-10 years, it still would have been a better decision. The problem is uncontrolled greed. The same thing with video games. That's the problem.
And then also the massive amount of projects that are put into Disney Plus as well. Like just they're releasing 3 to 4 movies a year, 3 to 4 shows a year, and none of them were quality.
And that's the thing.
That's why Disney's starting to cut back now. It's just like Netflix was like making all these movies and shows. Now they're cutting back in where they're putting their funds. But it's going to be the same thing with the video games, right? To go back
and whoever's a fan,
there needs to be, like Loke was saying, banger after banger after banger for at least 3 to 4 games to get people to actually care about making any type of shift towards a different platform. Because just having one game that comes out, if Indiana Jones comes out and you are a PlayStation diehard, and Indiana Jones is the greatest game ever made, it's probably not going to get a PlayStation diehard to buy an Xbox.
Yeah.
Or vice versa.
Well, you know, when you ask somebody,
I wanted to add something real quick.
Go ahead.
Oh damn it! I think I fucking lost it. God damn it!
Well, think about it. What I was saying is, like, if you think about like when you say, ask somebody, okay, why did you buy a Nintendo Switch? They're like, okay, I want to play.
Okay, I got it. Sorry. Smash Bros is a good example. You guys were talking about Smash Bros and the owner or the guy that has the rights to it or whatever.
Yeah.
The Smash Bros fans should be worshiping at the altar of this guy. Because if this guy was American, no offense to all the Americans, if this guy was American, we would have been at like Smash Bros 20 by now.
Mm-hmm.
Because this guy and a lot of people, unfortunately, it happens mostly in the East, from what I see. These people have integrity when they make whatever they're making. They don't make it for the sake of making money. They make it because it is a necessary piece of art that they need to get out of their mind or out of their heart into like a disc version or whatever. So
but then therein lies the problem as well. It's a double-edged sword too, right? Like, but my question is, what do they do? Before we do that, hold on. Hey, darling, can you hear me now?
Finally!
There we go.
Nothing was working.
All right. Well, how are you doing?
Are you guys ending the show already?
No, we're not. We're still talking.
Oh, okay,
Super left, but yeah.
Oh wow.
No, he'll be back in a couple of seconds. Maybe it's just a camera or thing issue, but yeah.
no, it's because I got here.
No, he'll be back. Don't worry about it. We're talking about what the fuck were we talking about? Yeah. The Xbox problem.
What do they do?
Of the new studio and the fact that they closed 2 of them, then it was like, new studio, y'all. I'm like,
But look, what you were saying that, they give you a lot more for your dollar. And I agree with that, but therein lies the problem now going forward. Like, for example, same story with Mario Kart, right? What do they do for a sequel?
Don't make it. If it's not relevant, if it's not a step forward, don't make it.
I'm sorry, I totally spaced out playing this mission in Starfield. What sequel are we asking about?
No, like what would they add to another Mario Kart that they don't already have, or another Smash Brothers that they've not already included?
There it is.
Yeah.
What?
I mean, with Smash Bros.
Yeah. I would love to have a Nintendo game with titties.
I mean, with Smash Bros, they could probably do another Subspace Emissary.
You guys are always talking about titties up in here.
And that you're gonna smash them as bro.
But yeah, like from the campaign portion, they could change things up. I know each game had like a unique campaign. I don't play Mario Kart, so I can't really answer that.
And to answer your question, Wize, to answer your question, when people are driven by actual creativity and passion to make something, then they will make it when they see the relevance to make another one. Do you understand it? Because your question is very Western focused. It's like, it's now that time of the year. It's been 3 years, it's been 5 years. Now we need to make another one. So now we need to force an idea to make a new Mario Kart. Whereas with them, it's like we don't have any new ideas. We don't have anything fresh. We're not going to touch this near perfection.
Yeah, and that's probably why he said officially that I'm not making another one, because he said I'm done with it because I've done everything I wanted to do with this game. Exactly. When we're talking about Smash Brothers, yeah.
But if he had shareholders, right, on his throat, what would be happening? We'd be getting another Smash, charging us $70, and then people would be making compilations about, the last Smash, the new Smash looks exactly like the last Smash.
I agree totally. But and therein lies the problem. I mean, therein people know when they buy a Nintendo console what they're buying it for. People know when they're buying a PlayStation console what they're buying it for. Now you can argue and say, okay, most people don't play the PlayStation IPs, whatever you want to say, but they know what they're going to be potentially available to buy or available to have at their
down the road.
At their want, right down the road. For Xbox, we don't have those games.
We kind of did, but
yeah, but
it was
then
the
they destroyed
same handful of Halo Gear Sports, unfortunately, and you continue. So I know where you're going with this.
No, but that's the thing. They need those games. They need system sellers.
Does the same thing, dude. The only difference is that PlayStation is savage with third-party tools. PlayStation, if you look at their games, the games on PS4 are the same games on PS5. And if you look real close and really stretch it, PS3 to PS4, same thing. Like
I had to look at the first party lineup, because I know one of the biggest issues with Microsoft was, and of course they had their third party exclusives like Quantum Break and Rise, etc. But their internal studios were very limited, so the IP that was really in their staple or wasn't very varied. So that's why all the studio acquisition happened. But not saying Sony didn't have Uncharted 4 and God of War 5.
Whatever studios they had famously by their own hands. So
I mean,
they also spent $80 billion in acquisitions that could have been used for
their
beefing up internal studios or making third-party exclusive
I
deals.
honestly, no. I disagree to an extent, because I feel Microsoft's, because during the 360 era, that's when I had like a lot of third-party exclusive deals. But even young me in high school being analytical about consoles and stuff, I'm like, they need to stop doing third-party deals.
But if we're gonna attribute PlayStation success to things like third-party deals,
well, so what I'm saying, I'm strictly talking about, because again, 360 has success with third-party deals as well. But when you lose when you lose that deal, then you're left with your own first party, and that's why they were so far behind, because they had to play catch up in terms of acquiring studios, and they're really saying, hey, we need franchises that we know they're going to stick on our platform going forward in case we lose out on third-party deals, because we're the third place console at this point. So unfortunately, they're trying to play catch up. Beyond it at this point.
But they had more first-party developers prior to getting ZeniMax or Activision than PlayStation did.
I mean,
they already had more.
Are we talking about? So are we talking Obsidians and Exiles, etc.? Or are you talking about that, or prior to those acquisitions as well?
I'm talking about prior to the ZeniMax and Activision acquisition.
So the issue
was it Dead Labs and shit.
Yeah.
Like that.
So the issue with that is that those acquisitions pretty much already had their games out before, and we know how long game development takes. So it's like, yeah, we had the bigger numbers, but they're still like, we're just now getting. I know they had what was that, Bleeding Edge from Ninja Theory, but we're just now getting Ninja or Hellblade 2 in the next few days. Like with Obsidian, I know we got Grounded and Pentiment, etc. But they acquired Obsidian. They had just released Outer Worlds on multiple consoles. So while their first party lineup was larger with ZeniMax, before the ZeniMax and Activision, those studios' pipelines were ways down the road in terms of releases, because they had already put out their titles elsewhere. So, but yeah, it's just I know the elsewhere studio is the ABK thing, so it's not it's separate from what's happening with ZeniMax, because I know people look at the Xbox brand as the Xbox brand. Well, when you actually look deeper into it, it's Xbox, but you got Activision, Blizzard, their own little thing, and ZeniMax. Anyway, but it does just suck to see news like this again, and then you hear them speak about their resources are limited and their workforce or whatever the resource limitation may be, whether it's staff, equipment, whatever. And then you open a new studio. I'm just like, what are y'all? What's going on?
Cool, nothing. Okay, Sals, I got a question for you. What do you think of? Are you thirsty for Herman Hulst? He's got they hired him to be the new what's his new position now?
I think he's one of the CEOs, because
there's like two now, isn't there?
Yeah, something like that.
And it was like I read that it was like the first time they took that approach and like divided the power of whatever the fuck. I mean, I could give a shit, but
I thought you were thirsty for Hulst.
I just know that the new COD is going to be on Game Pass.
Is it?
Black Ops.
I agree.
It is. Okay, so fucking, what was that? I forgot. Was it the Wall Street Journal?
Bloomberg or something? I know Bloomberg.
WSJ.
Yeah, WSJ or
Reset
something,
era.
and then IGN like pretty much
Yeah, but that's called
article.
circular reporting, is when people just report on the thing that was reported by the thing. Like until it's officially announced, I'm not entirely sure that's going to happen. It could absolutely be.
But that is
They
the
said that,
last
but it
official news.
But wait a minute, it's like very specific, because they even said in the article that it's planned to be announced in June for the showcase.
I honestly, to be fair, I haven't seen the article, so I'm just going off what you're saying.
So then shut up.
All right, so I've seen 3 articles.
Go ahead.
I've seen 3 articles, and specifically speaking, the last piece of official information that we have came from Phil Spencer's mouth when he said that all the cards are coming day one to Game Pass. All that happened is that last week, he said this months ago.
Okay.
All that happened is that last week, people started floating around and like leakers or people that said that they have inside information. They started floating the idea around that COD is not coming to Game Pass. The Microsoft has been discussing internally that it's not coming. Nothing official. Same thing is happening right now. Now it's also, hush hush reports. Insiders are saying that no, it's actually coming to. To your point about official news, the last official communication was that it's all coming to Game Pass.
Yeah, but we can't take.
So we need to decide. What's important? Is it rumors? Or is it the official? What's important here?
Whichever gets us more clicks.
Somebody said it in the chat.
I'm gonna go with Phil Spencer said it, even though he's wishy-washy on the shit he says. It's hard to go against what Phil Spencer says, considering that if you're gonna decide who the ultimate authority is on anything Xbox, it would be Phil Spencer. So regardless of the fact that he says shit as it maybe or maybe doesn't happen, he's still the ultimate authority. So
yeah, but he's just a mouthpiece for Microsoft. He does in the end. He can say what he wants to say.
But unless Satya Nadella comes out and said something different, to Loke's point, Phil Spencer is the ultimate authority on all things Xbox.
Yeah.
Are you gonna say so whose voice is more important when it comes to all things Xbox?
It's like, okay, obviously, in my opinion, excuse you.
No, I was about to say your voice is kind of like
cracking.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
She said you got a screechy ass voice. How dare you?
I didn't say screechy. I said that.
Wait, no, for real? It sounds like shit.
No,
it's like we hear you, but it sounds like it's cracking as you're speaking.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I think maybe
it might be dying. Like if it could be, if it's wireless,
your microphone just can't handle your power.
Your power.
Now you muted it. No, you muted it. You're muting. You muted it. I don't see the light on now.
Okay. But okay, wait. Do you hear me?
You're
muted again.
You're muted. There's a light. You know when you're speaking.
Yeah, we can hear you. But go ahead.
We'll deal with the
we'll suffer through it. We're sorry, listeners.
People.
Suffer through it.
All right. How about now?
Oh, we hear you.
Better now.
Is it good or is it still crackling?
You're good.
No,
you're good.
You're good.
It's dog shit talk.
You're good.
You're good. I listen.
It's good.
Lead.
Yeah.
Little.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, Super, but I just.
No, but answer my question then. Who is, if you're going to listen to anybody's voice, who is the ultimate authority on all things Xbox? Whose voice is more
like
important
the 1%
than Phil
Spencer's?
Spencer's?
The people you don't. It's the people you don't hear and the people you don't fucking see.
And I get that, Cells. I get that there are suits higher up than Phil that make these decisions, but the voices that we as the consumers hear, name the individual within the Xbox, system of shit, whose voice carries more weight than
Phil Spencer's voice.
Gordon.
It's like the president, right? Like the president, obviously, he's the face of the country. He's the one that gives and addresses everything. But in reality, he's not the one making the final decision. It's gonna be the House of Representatives. It's like a collective thing. But he's the one
if the president comes out and makes a statement about something, I'm gonna take what the president says over what some senator or congressman says, because the president, at the end of the day, even though he's not the one that makes all the decisions, is the ultimate authority in this country.
And to this analogy, it wasn't even a congressman that said it contrary to the president. It was the janitor. That's what happened.
He's the face that everyone sees on the gaming side of things. Now we got Matt Booty and Sarah Bond, but as you're saying, Nova, with when it comes to Phil, what he says, everyone's going to cling on to because he's the front man. But then what we saw with was it the FTC, and there's I don't know who it was, like the CEO or something, COO or someone was saying their plans to put games elsewhere, or Satya was
like I said, Phil has said a lot of things in the past that didn't happen or that weren't absolutely necessarily true, but still at the end of the day, whether it's Matt Moody, Sarah Bond, or Phil Spencer, if all three of them tell me something, I'm gonna have to say, okay, well, I'm gonna have to listen to Phil over Sarah Bond or Matt Booty, because
I get you, and until otherwise,
I ain't listening to none of those motherfuckers.
until otherwise, I'll listen to what he says, and like I always say,
I personally don't think that the next Call of Duty will be in Game Pass day and date.
Yeah, it's confirmed. It's confirmed.
Okay, and maybe it is.
No, if it's confirmed.
For me, monetarily, I don't see it making sense. But if it does, awesome.
I know they said they're.
I didn't know that Phil had said that. That's why I'm. But if he said it, if it's confirmed, cool.
I don't know if they said the
But I
next
feel like
COD,
it's
but I know
gonna-
they said the ABK catalog is pushing towards Game Pass. Now the time frame
No,
in which
it's
it'll
like-
happen, but because it took a
Somebody
while.
Google it and
Did
put
we
the
not
link in
watch?
chat.
Did we not watch Sarah Bond's interview?
Oh God,
Even
that was
she
a
said-
horror. Oh my God, that
Even
interview.
she said everything is coming to Game Pass.
Well,
Yeah, that was
all
like the
the
one
first
question
party
she didn't
games.
deflect.
What I
All the
think with
first party games is Call of Duty.
No.
not
So don't misunderstand me.
going
No one's saying it's not coming.
I feel like I'm
We're
losing my
saying
mind.
that no one's saying it's not coming. We're saying the timeline. So like technically, yeah, if COD comes later, then yes, they're all on Game Pass, but they come past the release date, and I know that's separate from what they're doing with their all first party going their day and date, but that's what I'm saying.
that's what
I'm
they
not saying
did with a bunch of games. Starfield
so
was
I'm not saying
released
like
a
it's
week
not gonna
before.
happen, but that's it. Like I'm not saying COD's not coming, but if people saying it's the next Call of Duty day one release, especially if they already had whatever numbers figured out, is it gonna come to day one? We don't know, but I'm not saying it's not, but
Either that or they're gonna have
I'm sure the next Call of Duty will be in Game Pass. I just don't know if it'll be their day in.
Me too.
Yeah.
I have my reservations on that.
all
I mean, I
I
know what you're saying, Cells, but
the
still.
catalog, because it's taking them again. Not saying it's not going to happen. Not at all saying COD's never going to touch
can't
it,
wait.
but the way they're drawing out the ABK catalog, it's understandable if people have questions on if the COD day one is going to be there, since they're drawing like Diablo came, was it March or something like that? Diablo 4 finally came to Xbox, but there's tons of other ABK games that just aren't present.
Well,
so that they're having a rollout.
Like, World of Warcraft, where is it?
I don't expect World of Warcraft to.
Like all I know is that what I think is that if like the new Call of Duty is on Game Pass, I don't think it's gonna just like, I think you would have to still pay for the campaign if you want to, and that I think multiplayer would be limited to certain modes.
Well, then
I don't think they're going to
If it's for
piecemeal it like
free.
that. I don't. That's
if it's in Game Pass, but you have to pay for it, then what's the fucking point?
Yeah, like at that point,
No,
am
I
getting
think there's going to be a
discount?
higher tier. I think that they're going to make like a Game Pass Premium or a Game Pass Plus, and that's going to have that game, and then the lower tier will not.
Game Pass already
I
has
don't-
tiers, right?
Yeah, they already got the. I mean, they got what the console, PC. Those are separate.
They can
or
already
core.
say, "Hey,
core,
They
yeah.
can already say Call of Duty and Game Pass day and date,
Yeah, but you-
only for Game Pass Ultimate."
But maybe they
Yeah,
could even,
that's something
they could even it's not going to even be a loss. Maybe they could afford, you know how much money that game pulls in? People buying battle passes, people buying skins. That game
Not as
up-
much as it would make if they sold it at $70 a piece with the battle passes and all that shit. Also,
Right? They would
I mean,
make
that's
double. they would
we
double
yeah,
dipping
and
you
we
that.
all know what they're betting on when it comes to Game Pass is people to subscribe and forget it and start to make money. So
Here's the thing, Cells. That all these things they would work if they would drastically increase the amount of subs into the service. But if the amount of subs into the service doesn't increase, then putting Call of Duty day and date into Game Pass is only going to cost them money versus make them money.
my question that I just thought of is that could we see them pivot off of a yearly release if they're going to try to put it in the Xbox Game Pass catalog? Because imagine if you're releasing one COD and that COD is keeping people subscribed because some people, like I said, set it and forget it, and that one COD is keeping people subscribed for 2 years, for example. So now that one COD that was a $70 product is now bringing you in if it stays the price, was it like $180 for Game Pass Open?
Right.
So like
And
$360.
That's another thing, right? Are they going to continue to do the yearly or annual
And see,
releases
that's an interesting
with
thing.
the rotating developers, or are they going to take those other developers and have them go make
think-
other things
yeah.
and just do like they did with Halo, where here's Call of Duty and we have a 10-year plan?
Well,
Well,
think about it. Why
I-
do you
I
think they're
don't
closing all of
think-
these studios? Because it's gonna offset the loss, or like
the
whatever
acquisition.
Yeah, for active, like that's what I think it
it's
is.
also because the second they took ownership, now they have to pay everybody's fucking wages, and that's a
Yeah, so
fuck ton of but
But that shit
thousands
was
of
never
new
a
employees.
problem before. Because didn't that take effect the moment that the ABK deal passed?
I-
They've
so,
been paying those
Right,
motherfuckers.
but if games didn't come out instantly, the second the ABK day deal, Jesus Christ, ABK deal was
There you
done,
go.
it was instantly.
come out day
I'm
and
not
date.
biased. It's instantly
That's
now
awful.
costing Xbox all this money to pay salaries and budgets and shit until games come out. they can now earn that money back.
No, so I kind of want to what Nate was saying. They still have to make the initial sales back plus microtransactions, and that's why I'm suggesting that they're going to swap over to the annual release with the Call of Duty games and just like pace out the games. And still, again, and it'll depend on if they see, hey, people are staying subscribed now. If they're losing subscribers, so they got like, oh shit, new Call of Duty in there to get them back.
Yeah, but it's not going to be only on Xbox. Like they're going to make their money. They're going to make their money for a bunch of for PlayStation.
We're going to close it out anyway soon. So
I'll be brief. I hope the direction moving forward is that first the online is online forever, and they don't have to keep re-releasing the online, and then only the campaign gets released on an annual basis, and they give us a proper campaign. None of this 6-hour training wheels just so you can go to the online. All right, leave the online perpetually running, and then give us annual campaigns.
Yeah, because the campaigns fucking sucked.
Thanks for having me on. You can find me on TSWS Gaming from Monday to Monday, and you can also find me on Wize Old Gamers podcast right after bullshitting every single Friday. Great. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Good night. Hi, Loke. Bye, Loke. You're the best.
Adios, mommy.
I'm gonna say the last word. I'm gonna go ahead and move on. We're gonna go ahead and close it up because it is like 9:30. I know you guys are probably hungry and tired, but I think that there was a comment. I think Phil or somebody had said in the Xbox camp that when they were first going through with the purchase that they were thinking about not making it an annual release. But I think in hindsight, I think everyone would be too scared for COD not to be. It is such a financial juggernaut. You really don't want to mess with something that ain't really broke per se. I mean, like if something is going to if COD doesn't come out 1 year, that's going to be a massive void. What is going to fill it? And I
definitely get you. I get you there. I definitely understand there. And that's where Microsoft having to decide what their focus is. So I know obviously they're trying to sell games, but they're also trying to build Game Pass subscriptions. I'm guessing that's what they're pushing towards. So it's what would be more beneficial, having an annual release or a biannual release. Again, where are they trying to focus, game sales or subscriptions, a mix of both? And only the what they call pencil pushers can figure that stuff out. So, but yeah, it's the annual campaign thing. I think we just keep it biannual so you can actually build up quality experience when it comes to the campaign. Let the multiplayer breathe, so you don't have to get another one come out the next year, and let the campaign marinate, so that you can have an amazing campaign the following 2 years later. We don't need one every year.
See, RPG88 says, we don't need we don't need a COD every year. Yeah,
it makes
but
money,
you don't, but my Gen Z kids do.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not Gen Z, but
well, Gen Alpha.
Yeah, you are.
What generation?
No, I'm not. Don't start that fucking conversation.
Yeah, well,
you know damn well I'm not.
What are the people born in 1994? What am I? So, okay.
Yeah, that's the thing. So we can
I was
wait
3
a year,
years
but
before.
those guys have the attention span of a fruit fly. So if you make them miss a COD 1 year,
I kind of disagree because look at Fortnite. They're playing the same Fortnite since forever now. So,
yeah,
that's a very situation.
I know, but what I'm just saying is like they don't. I know it updates, like that game itself updates every year. So if they say we have to
be
release,
on there now.
We have to release a new COD altogether, or we just got to have a nice upgrade for the current one to keep people invested in the current game. I think that's it. So it's a pivot of like I definitely understand you in terms of the franchise itself. Keep people interested with the new release, but when it comes to the product itself, similar to Fortnite, then that's where you update the product itself, being an individual game for the next 1 or 2 years. And but there's ways.
And COD's gonna have some competition starting the 21st because X Defiant comes out, and that shit is fun.
Interesting.
X Defiant, yeah.
Let's go ahead and close it up. Triple, tell us where we can find you, sir.
On the planet Earth in the solar system, playing Starfield. Since they finally fixed the game and I complete the anyway. You can find me here every Friday on Wasted with Wize, and I have my own channel, Triple Combo Gaming, which has been a barren wasteland of nothing so far. I'm trying to work on something, but I probably won't be able to get it done before Tuesday.
I want to be on your show.
I don't have a show. I'm thinking of making a show, but I'm here, but I'm thinking of making a show, but I got to figure out the approach I want to do with it. So, but yeah, just and so Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, Triple Combo Gaming. So.
Cool.
Yay!
Sales, darling, tell us where we can find you.
You can find me.
Bottle
You can find me playing the same shit every day. You find me here on Fridays, and I promise next Friday I won't be late. It was just everything was. Yeah, I'm not gonna be late. I might not be at 6 on the dot, but I will be here.
She was doing something else with her computer.
No, it wasn't. Oh my god! I just caught what you did. You're so dumb. I'll be here every Friday. I'm about to stream today after this in a bit, and I'm on Twitch. I'm on Twitter. I'm on YouTube. You know, just whatever platform, TikTok, Instagram. Just put Hi I'm Cells and you'll find me. And yeah,
cool.
You guys are the shit.
Cool. And the last person.
I am the one who knocks.
The one who knocks. Super, tell us where we can find you, sir.
The pain in the ass.
Me. Yes, that would be me. Lurking in the shadows, busting nuts. And here every Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern for A Waste with Wize.
Cool. Well, guys, that is our show for tonight. Hopefully everyone enjoyed it. I want to thank everybody who tuned in and everyone who showed up in the chat. WW Snipes, RPG88, E-Nate, I'm missing some. Graphic God, he showed up. 108 Dragons showed up. What's his name?
These are
Mr.
legacy
Inferno.
items? That's sick.
Mr. Inferno came in and dropped and said hello. Thank you guys for showing up. Toolman 55, thank you for coming in and giving us some of your precious time as well. Callie Rex and everybody else who I failed to mention. We really appreciate you guys. You guys make the podcast. If it wasn't for you guys, then we really wouldn't have a show. So yeah, I am, as always, the wise old gamer, the man who brings the fun and dysfunctional, or the icky and sticky, whichever one you prefer. You can find me on
icky.
PlayStation, Xbox, and the app that was formerly known as Twitter, Wise Old Gamer with a Z. And of course, we do this podcast with these insane kids who want to hang out with me every Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern. So yeah, I am thinking about doing a new podcast called The Butcher
I look
Block.
forward to it. It's like I'm visiting my crazy drunk uncle.
Yeah. I mean,
and hanging out with him.
Well, I'm going to do a new podcast. I'm trying over the summer. I'm going to see how it goes. More intimate. It'll be just like me and a couple of more, one or two other panelists. And while I'm grilling, we're going to be talking about God knows what the fuck we'll do. Just talk about everything. We're not even just gaming. Just there will be gaming, but there'll be more other things. Just having fun and chilling and talking and grilling, basically. Maybe that's what I'll call it, chilling and grilling instead of that. Yeah, who knows. Anyways, so yeah, thank you for everyone for tuning in, and hit the like and subscribe on the way out. And remember, you can be anywhere, but you've not been anywhere until you've first been wasted with Wize. Have a good one, you guys, and we will see you next Friday.
Bye, guys.
Bye.